in this way. So it's amazing to see these young drivers really honing in their skills going through, and you can tell, all of these drivers have a big future in karting coming through. But you can see Grayson Wyatt doing a great job here, holding on in the front, looks over the shoulder, sees nobody around, peaks there. Great knowledge there to know to peek in just past the apex and kind of look up, see nobody around coming through. White flag out, 1 lap to go here, Taylor, and nobody is catching Grayson. His gap is back up to about 2.5 seconds.
Grayson Wyatt currently sits P4 in the championship. He collected his only win of the season in round number 4 of this championship. He is looking, as we watch the battle, a little further back here for the battle for P3 as McNeely gets back around Laser right there for the moment as he tries to see if he can capitalize and get back up around him before the checkered flag. Meanwhile, Grayson Wyatt needing to have a good run to gain some much valuable points to take on his teammate James Fox. Or what better way to do it than to kick off the day by getting the pole and then also getting the chance to win heat race number 1 for him today. Out of that, a fist bump in the air for Grayson Wyatt and the Top Kart machine. He will win here in your 206 Cadet Heat race.
James Fox, great run there in second. Let's see when they come across for third. It is going to be McNeely who best out Bo Laser there in the end, getting that final lap pass done. And then Diesel Maxwell back a few more seconds in that 141. Kyler Hendrickson actually swapping with Diesel Maxwell. And then Grace Geist there in P number 7. The 7206 cadets getting through, doing a great job there through that 5-minute heat. And then we'll line it up here for 206 Sportsman to try to take things on as well.
Absolutely. Let's see if we can get a look at our 206 Sportsman starting lineup here momentarily. As we get that information ready and rolling for our competitors and set to go racing action. As they are being waited till everyone clears the track before we release them out on the circuit. I think everyone should be. There's the last couple of drivers.
Is that a Mohawk I just saw on one of the 206 cadets?
It is a Mohawk helmet. We'll see several of those throughout the weekend, as well as throughout several other series as the gates have opened, release the carts, and away we go for your 206 Sportsman's Heat race of the morning. And here is how they will line up. On the pole position with a 51.074 is Danny O'Gara, followed by Blake Martinez in second place. Row 2 will find Austin Taylor, followed by Kason Hendrickson. Row 3 will find Christopher Heinzen, followed by Elliot Simonelik, and also a driver who did not get to qualify is Oliver Shanahan, who will be rounding out the 7 kart field on the track. And it looks like actually maybe one more kart joined us. So we have actually 8 karts out on the circuit. Interesting to see who that could be. We don't have a transponder showing the name of the driver, but we do have 8 karts showing on the circuit for the moment.
It's going to be interesting to see how these 8 karts handle it. Again, 5 minutes plus 2 laps, and you can see here everybody already getting things together as they head towards the trial hole here, going down and around. These karts, again, just as a reminder, the Sportsman, it's 8 to 12-year-old Briggs and Stratton engines, 265-pound weight class, so slightly older than the 206 cadets on the high end, but it does blend the classes a little bit and a little bit heavier of a kart. So I'll be curious to see how they handle things here. Already double file coming in through the infield section. We'll see, do they get the green flag this time around?
And just to confirm, that is going to be Richard Dobbins who will join us in this group. Didn't set a qualifying time, but he will join us in the race. Enter into the start box. Do we get the green flag set to go racing here? And yes, we do. Green flag is out, and we are racing for your 206 Sportsman division, heading off into turn number 1 for the start of the race. And already they're 2 and 3 wide as they make their way through the triple apex corner here before heading over into the small little turn before they head down the back straightaway.
Coming out of the 90-degree left here to head towards the bus stop, then into the trial run here, the bank corner. You can see everybody starting to spread it single file here very quickly. O'Gara there up in the front, I believe, continuing along down in the hairpin, and he dives into the hairpin and he late brakes. Nothing to be found there, and they'll hold on to it, bring it around here single file yet again early on, and lap one going without incident for the most part for 206 Sportsman as they come through. Nothing that really caught my attention, at least, as Taylor is going to be leading the run here. That turn one making a big difference. Taylor ahead of O'Gara, ahead of Martinez. Down into turn two they go, and again, no big dives here, and they'll line it up here. 4 minutes left to go.
Austin Taylor leading the charge with that MPG Kart Republic here. We'll see multiple MPG karts along with the top kart right behind of Danny O'Gara as they try to work their way through. And I believe that is a Fernando Alonso kart right behind of Blake Martinez, who is out there on the circuit as they work their way around towards out of the salad bowl into the hairpin. And here comes Martinez to the inside, trying to make a pass, and already tempers flaring between him and O'Gara as O'Gara gave a little hand signal like, what in the world are you doing? It's only just been a couple of laps and you're already putting the pressure like that on me. We could try and chase down Austin Taylor. Let's work together, man. So far, Austin Taylor has checked out to a half a second lead.
I mean, if you're Martinez, you think you're the faster kart and you're very clearly going faster, I'd argue, in that instance. I think just slightly misjudging the braking there, getting back into the rear bumper there of O'Gara, trying to find a different way through, but you saw the hand signal. O'Gara didn't like it. Let's see if Martinez tries to line something up this time through. They've spread out a little bit more here in the top three as they come through the bus stop, which I would argue isn't much of a corner. Coming through fourth and fifth, Hendrickson and Dobbins battling it out here down into the hairpin. Nobody goes for a move this time. Again, Dobbins there in fifth, really looking to get past Hendrickson there. The number two kart doing a great job there, bringing his way through, around through the infield, and the top three holding where they're at, top six holding where they're at, crossing the line here. Another lap down, halfway through this heat, 5 minutes plus 2 laps, and 2 minutes, 20 seconds to go.
Really good lap time right there by Danny O'Gara, who sets fastest lap of the race. He is trying to close in. He picked up a little bit of time, but not a significant amount to really go and challenge Austin Taylor for the race lead here, as here comes Blake Martinez back on his bumper as they head down the back straightaway through the bus stop chicane. They will go before climbing the banking once again. Big run coming here as they head into the hairpin. Martinez not close enough to try anything. Gets a good run, though, to try to see if he can set something up on the infield section of the circuit.
Martinez getting closer here to O'Gara as we continue along. Kind of, I think, ran it off early. That hit to the rear bumper just sort of mixing things up, backed out a little bit, and I think Martinez is going to start to close it in here as we continue along. But where do you make the pass is the question I have. I mean, very clearly Martinez feels faster, but for Martinez, it's one thing to catch, it's another to pass. And if you're going to do the pass, you're going to have to get it done here because time is running down. Taylor looking over the shoulder. I think that's the first time I've seen Taylor really check the shoulder going through down towards the back stretch. Through the bus stop we go. Now into the bank corner, and you can see leaning a little bit there, trying to use all the momentum that's possible. I think Taylor might be feeling the pressure here near the end of this 206 Sportsman Heat as these top three are continuing to kind of accordion and constrict in a little bit. And let's see here if there is anything big to come with the final few laps.
Austin Taylor making his debut in the 206 Sportsman division here in this championship, as here comes O'Gara and Martinez. They have caught the back bumper of Austin Taylor, and here comes O'Gara trying to see if he can over-under here. Gets a good run out of the triple apex that you see coming into the back straightaway, and as well, Blake Martinez gets a good run. They are lined up nose to tail. That group is going to condense even more. The matter is who's going to be that cork in the bottle to kind of see how this all plays out. Up the banking they'll go before heading down into the hairpin. Will Martinez try something here again? No, he's going to bide his time, try to see if he can set something up through the infield section with 7 seconds plus 2 laps. We should get the popsicle sticks in the air this time around as they come out of the final corner and head towards the start-finish line. Popsicle sticks are in the air. 2 laps to go for your leaders, and Taylor is doing everything he can to be on the defensive to hold off O'Gara and Martinez. O'Gara, though, finds the opening as Taylor goes wide. He now has to try to calculate and see if he can hold over a couple of more corners before they head down the straightaway. And so far, he's been able to do so. And O'Gara try to show the nose as they head down the back straightaway.
I think Taylor is taking turn 2 like that on purpose because it sets up a really defensive run into turn 3. So it kind of compromises, and if he doesn't make it stick, that's a big problem. But what happens here to the hairpin? Well, at the moment, it looks like Martinez wanted the move going through. It'll be white flag this time by. Through the infield, they're going to go. A couple of good passing opportunities left, and through this infield section, everyone sticks single file out of the final couple of corners. Peek over the shoulder from Taylor. Coming across the line, white flag is out. 1 lap to go. Dive into turn 2. What's going to happen here? It looks like at the moment, Taylor again will take that wider defensive line because he likes the way it sets up for the next corner. O'Gara, nothing to do. Martinez, nothing to do. Through the triple apex we go. It'll be backstretch one more time here down the inside. Can O'Gara make it stick? No.
No, he will not be able to make it stick, but he nearly tried to, and he will lose that spot to Blake Martinez, though, as they work their way through up to the top of the hill. And so far, great racing here. Will Martinez try something? Now here comes O'Gara, sends it in deep, tries to make the 2-for-1 special, but gets one of the 2 spots as he gets back around Martinez for the second place. This allows the driver of Austin Taylor to run away for a brief moment, and as he does so, out of the final corner, Austin Taylor and MPG will collect the checkered flag in the 206 Sportsman Heat race.
Great defensive driving from Austin Taylor there up in the front. Danny O'Gara, Blake Martinez, great battles all the way through. Unfortunately, them battling with each other allowed Austin Taylor just enough breathing room there to go away. Richard Dobbins in P4 and Kason Hendrickson there in 5th. Elite Simonellic in 6th. Christopher Heinzen in P7. And then the final driver there, Oliver Shahan in P number 8, the 8 karts that took on this 206 Sportsman Heat.
Really great racing here, and it's now time for the Masters to head out onto the docket. We'll wait for the track to clear out before we release the Masters drivers on the circuit here, but it's going to be some exciting ones, and there you see a couple of them ready to go racing here today.
Curious to see how the 206 Masters, again, I said this during qualifying, but I'm going to say it again here in the heats. I'm always curious to see how the 206 Masters run different compared to the Cadet Sportsman, because sometimes you have a lot of give and take between them here as the gates open up, and we're going to find out momentarily how the 206 Masters handle this track.
Absolutely, we are indeed, as they make their way out onto the circuit. Here is your starting lineup for your 206 Masters. On the pole position with a time of a 50.540 is going to be Derek Hastings, followed by Troy Toney. In row number 2, we'll find Brian Williams, followed by Evan McCorkadale in row number 2. Row 3, we'll find Kevin Simonellic and William McLaughlin. In row 4 will be Tyler Demon, and Joseph Durte will be in row 4. Rounding out your 9-kart field is going to be Matt Geist. And I think we are missing one driver here. Looking to see who that would be. See Hastings, Tommy, Brian, McCorkadale, Simonellic, Demon. I think it's going to be Joseph Durte, who is not going to be out on the track with us here in this heat race for your 206 Masters division.
It's always unfortunate to miss that. More than likely some sort of technical issue that came up between qualifying and the run here into the heat. Hopefully we can get that resolved before the main event here. We'll start in the back. We go double file down through, and you can already tell the difference here between the Masters and the Cadet Sportsman is they grit up very quickly and they go very slow towards the tram lines.
Can McCorkadale continue his domination here today as he has this season? He's got to worry about two other championship competitors as well, including Tony Hastings and then others of Williams and McLaughlin who have picked up wins in the 206 Legends and Supermasters. Green flag is out and away we go, and already they are lined up 2 by 2, ready to go racing, heading into the triple hairpin or the triple apex corner through turns 3 and 4. And as they do so, it's going to be Troy Tony who will lead the charge. But McCorkadale already up to P2 as they come down the back straightaway.
Off in the back, a little bit of gravel being thrown up, a little bit of dirt, but no harm or no foul. Everybody gets away well through turn 2/turn 1. Going through the banking we go, and he dives down into the hairpin. Nothing at the moment. Everybody going through a little bit wide there from your leader. Looks over the shoulder there. Going back at the 191 of McCorkadale. McCorkadale can smell a move in. Can't make it stick there, though, and is definitely looking, though, trying to make the run. Now side by side down the stretch we're going to go. And who will come out ahead of whom is the million-dollar question. It will be Tony ahead of McCorkadale for the moment, but we're 3 wide into turn 1 as they go through, and that is a brave decision from these 206 Masters to make 3 wide work. Top 5 stuck together like glue, and let's see how they play out.
And that allows Derek Hastings with that action to take over the race lead right there in that all-black machine as they do so. You know, they make drivers here in this karting world don't make silly decisions. They make brave and heroic decisions sometimes, and that was definitely one of them. And it unfortunately didn't work out for McCorkadale or Hastings or for Troy Tony, but for Hastings, he was able to capitalize on it, and now he is able to break away by just about a kart length over McCorkadale as the rest of the field is starting to go back single file, trying to see what they can do. Geist is in the hunt. Brian Williams also right there in the hunt as well as they cross the line. Hastings and McCorkadale. Brian Williams in the hunt as he tries to break in for a chance of a podium finish here in this heat race.
I think anyone in the top 5 is in a good position for a podium right now early on. 3 minutes left to go plus 2 laps. I would really argue anyone in the top 5 at least are in a good position, and you never know the way things go. It could be anyone's podium to be found through the bus stop down in the banking. You can see really trying to stick low there through the banking, even leaning in a little bit, trying to just keep the momentum of the kart alive coming through. 4th place there, Brian Williams trying to find a move on Geist if it's to be found, looking low, looking high. Nothing to be found at the moment here. Hastings just trying to stay comfortable and consistent here, and McCorkadale in kind of a limbo position, a little bit of a gap ahead, a little bit of a gap behind. Which way do you worry about? Do you head down and try to chase, or do you worry about getting past? Because in the background, you've got Brian Williams up the inside of Geist, who's going very quick, has to give a wiggle there, a little bit of a defensive miss there as Geist closes the door, and now we'll settle things in.
He certainly will. Matt Geist, after starting tail end Charlie, just about has moved up the field quite quickly, and it is working their way through as they head down up towards the Salad Bowl. Great drive for them, and McCorkadale losing a little bit of time as he was 4/10 off the pace right there from your race leader of Derek Hastings. That clean air, no pressure from anyone, is really helping Derek Hastings to kick in the afterburners and try to pull away from the competition. As there you see that group of 3 led by Matt Geist, Brian Williams, and Troy Tony for that battle for 3rd as they come across the line with 1.5 minutes plus 2 laps to go.
Coming through here down into turn 2, one of the best passing opportunities we've seen all day, continuing that battle there, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, really keeping the moves alive here, being very aggressive on the runs. And I mean, if you can smell the podium here, you might as well go for it. Let's see, coming through the 90-degree left-hander and down into the bus stop they go. Where they stop, nobody knows. And then, well, they come through the banking here of the Salad Bowl, nobody able to find anything in, and then keep things just alive for the moment. Again, still sitting single file. You can see a little bit of an adjustment there in the seat going through from Tony as they go through, but Geist and Brian Williams, those two have been just bumper to bumper the whole time. And for Tony, I mean, if you can smell the 2 for 1, you might as well go for it. And let's see if there's a move into turn 2. It looks like we're about 3 laps to go down the inside and switch back. Great move there as Geist, Brian Williams still settling it out. Not sure who's ahead of who as they try to sort themselves out, and then Tony's
trouble.
Tony's off.
That is Troy Tony around right there, and he is not happy about that whatsoever. This will allow Geist and Brian Williams, who will be ahead of Geist when they come back around for the time being. But meanwhile, back up front, it is Derek Hastings who leads the charge out of the hairpin before they head into the infield section. 9 seconds left to go. They should be able to get the popsicle sticks this time by for 2 more laps as they come out of the final corner. Do they get it? Yes, they do. 2 laps to go for your leader as he heads the charge down to turn number 2. Down into the brake zone they go. Beautiful drive, hits the apex perfectly. And there you see the battle for third between Williams and Geist as those two will jockey for position through the triple apex.
Coming through here, and guys just behind there. You got to feel for Tony. Tony was just trying to battle, and it seems like, honestly, what happened was Brian Williams and guys just didn't realize Tony was that close still, and kind of 2 into 1 didn't go, got bumped off a little bit in the grass, and then the cart went around, but was able to get back going, thankfully, so not all is lost, but I would watch Tony in the feature race here a little bit later this morning. It'll be a great run to see what Tony can do to recover. Coming through, white flag will be this time by at the moment. Guys not able to close up on Williams as they come across, and 1 lap to go down through turns 1 and 2. Right now, Hastings 2.1 up on McCorkindale, and they're another 2 seconds back to these two who are separated by about half a second. It's still trying to find time. You can see Geist really driving the wheels off this thing. Final lap. Let's see if there's anything left to give.
Derek Hastings already has collected 1 win this championship season, looking to try to pick up a 2nd overall. And as he leads the charge in that all-black machine out of the salad bowl into the hairpin, he will go. And looking to continue on with sweeping of the day here at Whiteland, presented by K1 Circuit. And as they enter into the infield section, does a great job of holding his line through here, and he will collect the flag here today in heat race action for your 206 Masters. McCorkindale 2nd. Williams and Geist will drag race, and it will be Brian Williams who takes home the 3rd position. Matt Geist, Kevin Simonellic, William McLaughlin will come across in P6. Troy Tony, then it'll be Tyler Demon right there, rounding out your 8-cart field.
Great run from all of the 206 Masters here going through. And again, you can tell the difference in how they drive versus those cadets and sportsmen. And we're just going to mix things up again really quick here because the fun of the morning is next it's KA Jr. here. And Taylor, I don't know about you, but I have a feeling that KA Jr. is going to be a very, very competitive class. And I think that green flag turn 2 run is going to get very exciting.
Very exciting, very dicey, I would have to say as well for your KA Junior category, as I am excited to see them as well. They're about to head out onto the track as all the drivers are making their way into the pit garage, into the scale line to see how they all lined up and open the gates, release the carts, and away we shall go. Making sure everyone's clear, getting a word from race officials if we are clear to go racing, and we are. Here is your starting lineup for the KA Junior Heat Race on the pole with a time of a 44.954. It is Andrew Avelos, followed by Ryan Mort in 2nd place. In row 2, we'll find Mason Galen, followed by Evan Patton. Row 3, we'll see Jordan Lathan, followed by Elijah Matson Vigas. In row 4 will be Lucian Laser, followed by Nolan Wade, and rounding in the field in 9th position is Dylan Thomas.
Only 9 carts on track here, but I tell you what, the racing has been as competitive as any time I've seen 20, 30 carts on track together. These 9 carts, 8 cart fields have been putting on a show. And I think it goes 2 front. 1, it's the drivers are really not holding back today. And then second off, I'd say it's this track. This track is putting on great racing as everybody's warming up their tires, getting ready to go here, getting into the infield, and now they're going to double file it up, head towards the tram lines, and we'll see if we get the green flag this time through, yellow flag being waved, everybody being told to slow down, and they'll form it up here, get ready to go in the tram lines and go green.
enters into the tram line here. Let's go racing. Do we get the all clear? Time to find out as they enter into the start box. And green is out, and away we go. Avelos leads the charge as they enter turn one. Contact the multiple carts around as they hit the Armco barriers. And unfortunately for one driver, that is going to be day end for the drivers right there. But meanwhile, Avelos, Mort, Galen, and company will now lead their way out of the straightaway, heading over to the bus stop chicane and heads down over towards the salad bowl. Let's mix it up a little bit and see how it all plays out. Up through the banking they go towards the hairpin, and as they head down into the bottom of the racetrack here, so far no changes, but I believe a 64 of Mason Galen looking to take over the race lead.
Yeah, it does look like Galen there up into the front here as they cross the line. We'll see how things score out as they come through. And as they cross the line, it is actually Avalos who's still showing up front at the moment. Andrew Avalos with Mason Galen there. And then Lucian Laser in P number 3 coming across at the moment here. So multiple carts dropping through. Everybody trying to get their carts back underway and going as they go through that big turn 1 incident there. It looks like everyone able to get away. Everybody just working together at the moment through the bus stop and down into the salad bowl, holding on to it, down into the hairpin, into the infield section. Nobody going for anything too aggressive here at the moment. Everybody just settling in and trying to get this run. 3.5 minutes left to go in this KA Junior Heat. And you can see at the moment, Galen putting on some pressure to Avalos up in the front.
How about a big attaboy to Dylan Thomas, who started tailing Charlie pretty much. He is now up to P4 after avoiding all the chaos that happened around him on the opening lap. He is working his way through. He's under pressure from Nolan Wade a little bit, as well as also Evan Patton. But right now, Avelos, Galen, and Laser are working hard to try to see if they can pull away. There you see Galen in the top cart. There you also see the Lando Norris cart of Avelos as they head down into the hairpin. Galen thought about trying to see if he can set something up. Not close enough to try anything there.
And as they go through and around, continuing, just looking through. And this is the thing with karting. You have to find this fun little balance of patience to know when to make the move and aggressiveness to kind of make the move come your way. And it's hard to balance those two things as they go through and continue along. You can do really well with it. You can do really not well with it. And it's one of those very learned skills. And you can see here in KA Junior, I would say Galen has a great knowledge of knowing when to be patient and, kind of push versus when to really be aggressive and force the move. Right now is the time to be patient here. 2 minutes left to go, plus 2 laps. I would be patient. I would just sit right in the whites. I would sit right behind Avalos and just close in. Don't overdrive the cart. Don't force a move. And then here, when you get the 2 to go signal, send it, unleash it, and let it go here as we're under 2 minutes to go right now. And you can see doing just that. Top 3 here, trying to stick together.
Yeah, we do have to talk about Ryan Mort not able to continue on with the racing. He is the other driver who was involved in that opening lap, and I also believe Evan Patton out of the race as well. So pretty much that's 2 of your main championship competitors who have won this season who are out of contention. But Galen and Laser, who are the other 2, right there in step with Andrew Avelos as they try to see what they can do with 1.5 minutes plus 2 laps to go. As they come out of the hairpin through the infield section of the course, they will snake their way through out of the final corners, and Galen can't really find the pace he needs. He's running some good lap times, but just isn't able to find that extra little bit. He was a little bit faster that time by just about a 10th behind Avelos, but not able to pick up more than what he needs to make the challenge for the race lead.
Yeah, just that little bit isn't going to be enough here going through. Really going to need Avalos to have a big moment. Honestly, if Galen wants to really close that time, is going to need that number 7 cart to have a problem, have a moment, miss a corner, do something, which unfortunately appears so consistent. I don't think that's really going to happen here, as you can see going through. And then Lucian Laser there in 3rd place, again, has just sort of dropped off as well and is just running his own race here. Let's see what the 64 has this time around. Crosses the line, and no, it was actually fastest lap of anybody last lap for Andrew Avalos in that number 7 cart. So as we're 20 seconds to go, Andrew definitely has pulled pulled a little bit of extra speed out, and I think is going to be pretty comfortable in that position. But nothing's ever over until the checkered flag flies. Still plenty of time for anything to happen.
Andrew Avalos looking to collect his first win of the Indy Karting Challenge here at the K1 Whiteland Raceway Park. As they work their way through, they will get the popsicle sticks in the air. Currently sits P4 in the championship as he is looking to try and capitalize his first chance of a race win. 2 to go this time by as they head down over towards turn number 2. He has plenty of breathing room as Galen has kind of looked like he has conceded to hold that second position for the time being. Everyone else kind of also single file for the moment. No pressure, just finish up the heat and get ready for the feature race later on this morning.
Yeah, that is the good thing with the heats, is the fact that it is the heat race. You still have one more race going through the day of the feature race here just a little bit later. So, you know, at this point, I wouldn't overdrive the kart. I wouldn't do anything crazy. Now, if it's the feature race, they're going to do something completely different. But right now here in the heat, you know, conserve your equipment. Don't do anything unnecessary. Keep driving and just watch what you do here. White flag out this time by last lap through, and it just needs to be one more clean lap. Get that kart to the end, and it looks like for everyone, that's going to be the goal going through the triple apex here. Going through down into the left-hander towards the backstretch, and Andrew in the number 7 kart in great position here.
My only concern is, I believe, if I remember correctly, we don't change tires here for this event. I'll have to double check on that as well. But with him really putting the effort in how much pace he's showing in this stage, how are those tires going to handle in the feature race at the end of it? As he goes up a little bit, bicycles it here and continues on. That's my biggest concern, is how well that kart's going to handle. But for meanwhile, he will collect the heat race win here at K1 Whiteland, and then Mason Galen, Lucen Laser. Then it will be Dylan Thomas, who should come around with a strong 4th place finish for him. Great starting spot for him in the feature. Then Nolan Wade. Elijah Matson Vegas will come home around in 7th position. I think he was that kart that stuck out there because Jordan Lathan will get P6. So we have a little bit of cleanup to do as we have to get a couple of karts off the track. So we'll step aside, take a quick commercial break. When we come back, it will be the time for the 206 Senior Light Heat Race. So we'll be right back after these words. Well, it looks like that was a pretty quick cleanup, so we will be able to get started with the 206 Senior Light Heat Race for this morning. A total of 12 karts are out on the track. On the pole with a 49.762 will be Levi Wilbur, followed by Colton Kelly in 2nd place. Row 2 will find Braden Heber, your points championship leader, followed by Adam Maxwell in 4th. Row 3 will find Andrew Petrie, followed by Gage Justiano in 6th position. Row 4 will find Colin Harden and Zachary Allen. Rounding out your top 10 will be Tyler Sims and Ethan Williams. And riding shotgun on the field here is Andrew Goldman in 11th and Gavin Holtum, who did not take a time. He will start P12.
Going to be exciting to see here how 206 lights handle as they come along and around. Feel much more spread out than we've seen our other classes into the formation lap. So we'll have to see them really close things down here as we still have karts trying to get through the tri-oval as they go down into the final corners heading towards turn 1. And well, you can see they're going to try to grid things up really quick. This is going to be an interesting turn 1 though. I'm excited to see how things play out.
Yeah, Levi Wilbur really able to slow down the field enough now, and I think everybody has caught up. There's one straggler coming up as they enter into the start box. 5 minutes plus 2 laps. This should be the final heat race here for our coverage on the morning before we get set for the finals. And here they come into the start box. Green flag is out, and away we go for action here in the 206 lights. And already drivers jockeying around for positioning here as they head into the corners. And already Kelly checking out with Levi Wilbur right there in hot pursuit. But here comes Braden Heber up to P2 already as they head down the back straightaway towards the bus stop.
Yeah, Braden Heber, that highlighter yellow/green helmet there going through up into second early on. We'll see if able to close through into the hairpin, hard on the brakes. You can see taking a slightly different line than other karts as everyone comes through, as somebody's off into the gravel up on the tri-oval. That is the number 19 of Sims.
Oh, tough break. He went a little bit too far up in the salad bowl, I would have to say, as he hits the gravel, as Levi Wilbur and Braden Heber, your 2 championship points leaders, lead the charge. Maxwell drops back to P3, Kelly in P4 as they make their way into turn number 2 before the triple apex. As they come out of that corner so far, it's lined up nose to tail. Braden Heber, though, putting the pressure on Levi Wilbur as he looks to try to take that race lead away.
Yeah, Heber here very much in tow through the bus stop, coming down into the salad bowl. See that cart left to the outside into the gravel. If you hit that gravel, your day is done, or your race is done, I should say. Maybe not your day, but your race for sure is done going through. Wilbur doing a great job to hold on there as Heber's going through. Maxwell there in third place and continuing to follow along all the way around going through. That is going to be a hard fought pass to go for here at the moment down into turn 2, but Heber again just sticking right to the rear there, playing it smart, thinking about the move, takes a slightly different line here into the triple apex. Isn't going to be able to set something up yet, but definitely looking for the place where it can be found.
Great fight for positioning here as they work their way up through the field, and as they do so, drivers are working their way through the field, and as they do so, up through the Daytona corner, they go down into the hairpin. They will make their way through, and so far the S's work out in their favor, and as they do so, Wilbur will pull away from the competition for the time being.
Continuing to push for the run where they can. 2.5 minutes left to go, coming around here down into turn number 2, and again just looking to push through. Heber's still trying to find time where it can be found, looking through inside outside, and again just right there in the mix. I think Maxwell is going to be a great contender as well here into the final few minutes of this 206 light run down into the bus stop heading towards Daytona, and is going to be looking to get a pass where it can be found down through. Again, slightly different line. Keep your eye on Maxwell. I'm liking the look of that number 41 cart right now into the final few minutes.
Out through the S's, they will go into the chicane. They will work their way through with under 2 minutes to go. And here comes Braden Heber with a big run of steam here coming through the competitors as they work their way through across the front straightaway. Wilbur sets the fast time. Braden Heber responds as well, and he is putting immense pressure on the back bumper, and he will try to go and get the crossover move done, going a little bit of the higher line on corner entry. That sets him up for a good run through the inch exit, off corner exit. Looks over the shoulder to see what he can set himself up for, because here comes Adam Maxwell with a big run.
Yeah, Maxwell here with a great run. So this all of a sudden went from what could have been a kind of comfortable-ish win for Wilbur to a contested run here for the top three. Who knows where this is going to end up? Through the hairpin they go, down through the infield section. They're going to bring it around, doing a great job of holding on here. Heber again in that yellow or green, depending on who you ask. Helmet and bright highlighted Kart is looking through, trying to find a way through outside to inside. Send the dive down into turn number 2. Can he make it stick? Not at the moment. He's going to go wide here through 3 and not able to run through. Maxwell tried to capitalize on Heber, trying to look for the move, not able to. And then all of a sudden, Kelly is now in the mix as well, as we're 30 seconds to go plus 2 laps.
30 seconds ago, and already we see Heber putting immense pressure out of the bus stop, up the banking of Daytona. They will go, and so far it will work out in Wilbur's favor as he holds off Heber for the time being. And so far, no one's really putting the pressure. It's only 2 to go next time by, at least, as they work their way through. I think Heber's just going to take his time, not push the envelope right here.
Yeah, I think that would be a good decision from Heber, but then again, they're Kart drivers. Let's see what happens. Outside to inside, looking for a slight switchback here through turn 2. Doesn't make the move stick, is going to run wide here into the triple apex. Still trying to find a move through, down and around, and still Maxwell looking for that second place here in the heat, going through Heber. Again, slightly different line to Wilbur, going around into the bus stop, heading towards Daytona. Heber is really kind of in this awkward mix of defensive and offensive. What can be found here into the hairpin? Nothing at the moment, spotting things through. And I think Maxwell is going to be a very, very hard force here on the final lap to hold back.
I think everyone right here is looking forward to seeing how everyone will capitalize on the front 2, but here comes Heber. He'll try the outside crossover in play as he gets a good run on the inside, and he tries to see if he can set him up around the outside of the triple apex. Can't quite make it work right here, and as he does so, here comes Maxwell with a big run off corner exit as well. They head into the toe. Wilbur goes on the offensive, but Heber finds the opening down to the inside, side by side through the bus stop. Could not make it work for him as he now climbs the banking of Daytona before heading down towards the hairpin once again. Hitting the apex, they do so. Not able to make any pass as Maxwell shows the nose, and Wilbur breaks away for a kartling for a brief second as Maxwell takes the spot away from Heber.
Coming through white flag here this time by. Heber wants to try to get the move again here. These top 4 going through. Maxwell's going to try to fight for a win here. Let's see what Maxwell can do right up the back of Wilbur here going through. Taylor, I mean, they're going to fight really aggressively. I think, unfortunately for Heber, him losing that position might seal his fate through, and he's got Kelly to defend from down towards the bus stop for the last time they go. Let's see what happens here. I think Maxwell's going to try to set something up out of Daytona.
Keep an eye on that, but watch out for Heber. He could capitalize on what those 2 decide to do. Into the hairpin. Big send right there by Maxwell, and Heber could not calculate on that one. Neither could Wilbur, and here comes Adam Maxwell with a beautiful pass. He's now going to go on the defensive. Heber tries to find the opening to get around Wilbur for position. Not going to work. Out of the final corner, it will be Adam Maxwell to take home the heat race victory in your 206 lights. Levi Wilbur will finish P2, followed by Brady. Absolutely, and stellar drive right there by Adam Maxwell. One of the best last lap passes of the day we have seen so far. Colton Kelly will finish P4, Gage Giustiano in P5, Colin Hart in P6, Petrie, Williams, Goldman, and Holtum rounding out your top 10. Zachary Allen rounding out in 11th position. Don't forget, we will be stepping behind the paywall here for the action of the finals later on this morning. They have the Kit Karts heat race that is happening here in a few short moments. But with that, we're going to step aside, take a quick commercial break, and get you ready for the finals here today. And stay tuned as finals for the entirety of the morning session of the action of the Indy Karting Challenge for the K1 circuit in Whiteland are next, only on Kart Chaser.
all the way up to the finish line. Who is it going to be? And it's Sean Perez who wins in Crescent.
Ty Fisher wins $1,000 in KA100 Junior.
Alex Stanfield played it perfectly here, told him to wait. Stanfield wins the Duffy in 2024 for TV Kart.
Amarillo Kart Complex is now the official distributor for TV Kart in the continental U.S. Become a dealer today.
Hey, what's up, Caleb?
What's up, Brandon?
You sound defeated. A long day at the office?
Yeah, got stuck at a cat food marketing meeting for like 3 hours. I don't know a thing about cat food, and I don't even work in marketing. And then I got sent on a coffee run like I was some sort of intern. Then at the end of the day, when I want to go get gas, I just realized everything is so darn expensive nowadays, man.
Yeah, you got that right.
Like, do you have any idea how much we're spending on Netflix?
That's like 20 bucks a month.
Do you know how much we're spending on cable?
That's like 50 bucks a month.
But you know what isn't expensive?
Tell me.
Kart Chaser Premium. For only $9.99 a month, you can watch all the American karting action live from coast to coast. Subscribe and become a member today.
Paulie Massimino wins in KA. Paulie Massimino is a winner in OKN Stars.
Take your driving to the next level with one-on-one coaching from 2024 OKN Stars champion, Paulie Massimino. Kart rental options are available if you'd like to keep yours at home, and drivers in all classes are welcome, from Briggs 206 to Mini to KA100 and X30. With in-depth data analysis, onboard video footage review, and lead follow on-track sessions, each private coaching session will see you end as a more complete driver than when you started. Book your coaching session now.
The K1 Circuit Semi-Pro League. This is a competitive race series with two classes. Junior Series for those who are under the age of 18, and the Senior Series for those who are 18 or older. If you think you have what it takes, come out and prove your skills on League Night. Both schedules are live on the K1 Circuit website. Your Kart Chaser live feed will resume shortly.
Brandon, why are there all these charges for just over $200?
I'm tired of all this Brandon business, okay? Brandon this, Brandon that. Why are there all these expenses on AKR over $200? We know, okay? Take a walk with me. At Shop AKR, they have everything you need to start racing at a very cheap and affordable price. They have MXC rims, they got chains, electrical stands, tilt seats, they got MXCs. And if you didn't know, on top of that, any purchase in the continental US over $200, that's free shipping. Hey, aren't you supposed to be in the AKR Anonymous meeting over there? Dude, I'm doing a commercial. Dude, we have no time. It's about to start. Stop. We all love Shop AKR. Me? More than others. What do I get at Shop AKR?
MXC rims.
Kyle, what are you doing?
It's got my new Greyhound seat.
You don't even have a cart.
Doesn't matter. I have a Greyhound.
Who the f is Kyle Cuthbertson? Doesn't even have a go-kart.
Doesn't matter.
Cuthbertson through on Turney. Turney in the dirt.
K1 Circuit, the world's greatest outdoor karting facility, is now open. Open karting and rental session schedules are available online. Rentals will resume today after the race event at 5 p.m. Thanks to Kart Chaser for live streaming the event at K1 Circuit, your coverage will resume shortly.
DPK Americas is bridging the gap between the U.S. and the two-time world champion DPK Alonso Kart factory team in Europe.
In partnership with Team Binnick, they offer drivers a complete career path from the Americas to Europe that allows them to continue their driver development on both sides of the world, all underneath the DPK umbrella.
For more information, contact DPK Americas at max@drivensm.com to take the next step in your driver development journey today.
Are you ready to get behind the wheel? From Formula One to NASCAR and IndyCar, all the pros start here. For more information, check us out online at mcckarting.com or call us and go racing today.
Hey, what's up, Caleb?
What's up, Brandon?
You sound defeated. Long day at the office?
Yeah, got stuck at a cat food marketing meeting for like 3 hours. I don't know a thing about cat food, and I don't even work in marketing. And then I got sent on a coffee run like I was some sort of intern. Then at the end of the day, when I went to go get gas, I just realized everything is so darn expensive nowadays, man.
Yeah, you got that right.
Like, do you have any idea how much we're spending on Netflix?
That's like $20 a month.
Do you know how much we're spending on cable?
That's like $50 a month.
But you know what isn't expensive?
Tell me.
Kart Chaser Premium. For only $9.99 a month, you can watch all the American karting action live from coast to coast. Subscribe and become a member today.
The K1 Circuit Semi-Pro League. This is a competitive race series with two classes. Junior Series for those who are under the age of 18, and the Senior Series for those who are 18 or older. If you think you have what it takes, come out and prove your skills on League Night. Both schedules are live on the K1 Circuit website. Your Kart Chaser live feed will resume shortly.
this is Henry. Henry feels sad. Henry feels sad because it's time for his next big race and his go-kart is in bits. Henry doesn't know that Acceleration Kart Racing is the United States' #1 shop for all of your karting equipment needs. Henry also doesn't know that Acceleration Kart Racing can deliver anything from tires to race suits and even wheels directly to your front door or to the racetrack itself, quickly and efficiently, with tech support available 6 days a week. Poor Henry doesn't even know that Acceleration Kart Racing offers free shipping to mainland USA on selected product if you spend $200 or more. Do yourself a favor. Go to accelerationkarting.com and make sure that you are never left stuck on the pre-grid with Henry. Be smart and don't be like Henry.
All the way up to the finish line. Who is it going to be? It's Sean Perez, who wins in Crescent. Ty Fisher wins $1,000 in KA100 Junior.
Alex Stanfield played it perfectly here, told him to wait. Stanfield wins the Duffy in 2024 for TV Kart.
Amarillo Kart Complex is now the official distributor for TV Kart in the continental U.S. Become a dealer today.
Hey, what's up, Caleb?
What's up, Brandon?
You sound defeated. Long day at the office?
Yeah, got stuck at a cat food marketing meeting for like 3 hours. I don't know a thing about cat food, and I don't even work in marketing. And then I got sent on a coffee run like I was some sort of intern. Then at the end of the day, when I want to go get gas, I just realized everything is so darn expensive nowadays, man.
Yeah, you got that right.
Like, do you have any idea how much we're spending on Netflix?
That's like 20 bucks a month.
Do you know how much we're spending on cable?
That's like 50 bucks a month.
But you know what isn't expensive?
Tell me.
Kart Chaser Premium. For only $9.99 a month, you can watch all the American karting action live from coast to coast. Subscribe and become a member today.
Paulie Massimino wins in KA. Paulie Massimino is a winner in OKN Stars.
Take your driving to the next level with one-on-one coaching from 2024 OKN Stars champion Paulie Massimino. Kart rental options are available if you'd like to keep yours at home, and drivers in all classes are welcome, from Briggs 206 to Mini to KA100 and X30. With in-depth data analysis, onboard video footage review, and lead follow on-track sessions, each private coaching session will see you end as a more complete driver than when you started. Book your coaching session now.
The K1 Circuit Semi-Pro League. This is a competitive race series with 2 classes. Junior Series for those who are under the age of 18, and the Senior Series for those who are 18 or older. If you think you have what it takes, come out and prove your skills on League Night. Both schedules are live on the K1 Circuit website. Your Kart Chaser live feed will resume shortly.
Brandon, why are there all these charges for just over $200?
I'm tired of all this branding business, okay? Branding this, branding that. Why are there all these expenses on AKR over $200? We know, okay? Take a walk with me. At Shop AKR, they have everything you need to start racing at a very cheap and affordable price. They have MXC rims, they got chains, electrical stands, tilt seats, they got MXCs. And if you didn't know, on top of that, any purchase in the continental US over $200, that's free shipping.
Hey, aren't you supposed to be in the AKR Anonymous meeting over there?
Dude, I'm doing a commercial.
Dude, we have no time. It's about to start.
Stop. We all love Shop AKR. Me? More than others. What do I get at Shop AKR?
MXC rims.
Kyle, what are you doing?
It's got my new Greyhound seat.
You don't even have a cart.
Doesn't matter. I have a Greyhound.
Who the f is Kyle Cuthbertson? Doesn't even have a go-kart.
Doesn't matter.
Cuthbertson through on Turney. Turney in the dirt.
K1 Circuit, the world's greatest outdoor karting facility, is now open. Open karting and rental session schedules are available online. Rentals will resume today after the race event at 5 p.m. Thanks to Kart Chaser for live streaming the event at K1 Circuit. Your coverage will resume shortly.
DPK Americas is bridging the gap between the U.S. and the two-time world champion DPK Alonso Kart factory team in Europe.
In partnership with Team Binnick, they offer drivers a complete career path from the Americas to Europe that allows them to continue their driver development on both sides of the world, all underneath the DPK umbrella.
For more information, contact DPK Americas at max@drivensm.com to take the next step in your driver development journey today.
Are you ready to get behind the wheel? From Formula One to NASCAR and IndyCar, all the pros start here. For more information, check us out online at mcckarting.com or call us and go racing today.
Hey, what's up, Caleb?
What's up, Brandon?
You sound defeated. Long day at the office?
Yeah, got stuck at a cat food marketing meeting for like 3 hours. I don't know a thing about cat food, and I don't even work in marketing. And then I got sent on a coffee run like I was some sort of intern. Then at the end of the day, when I want to go get gas, I just realized everything is so darn expensive nowadays, man.
Yeah, you got that right.
Like, do you have any idea how much we're spending on Netflix?
That's like $20 a month.
Do you know how much we're spending on cable?
That's like $50 a month.
But you know what isn't expensive?
Tell me.
Kart Chaser Premium. For only $9.99 a month, you can watch all of the American karting action live from coast to coast. Subscribe and become a member today.
The K1 Circuit Semi-Pro League. This is a competitive race series with 2 classes. Junior Series for those who are under the age of 18, and the Senior Series for those who are 18 or older. If you think you have what it takes, come out and prove your skills on League Night. Both schedules are live on the K1 Circuit website. Your Kart Chaser live feed will resume shortly.
Well, after all the excitement that we had here this morning, it is time to give out some trophies here today as we get set for feature racing action. Welcome to the Indy Karting Challenge live on Kart Chaser. I'm Taylor Burris, and he is Bradley Dalton. And Bradley, we are getting ready to go racing for the 206 Cadet Final, and it's going to be one that we're going to be excited to watch here for the morning session of our drivers in action.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. Welcome back here on Kart Chaser. I'm excited for this 206 Cadet. They had a good pre-final heat race going through, and we're doubling the time that they have to run, adding 2 more laps. I am really excited to see how this final event goes through. 10 minutes, plenty of time. You have to pace yourself. You have to think about it. It's going to be exciting to watch.
And with that, let's go ahead and give you your starting lineup for today's action here in the 206 Cadets. Give them a chance for timing and scoring to get themselves ready to go. And as they do so, crossing the line, here is your lineups for the 206 Finals. On the pole position in that number 5 top cart will be Grayson Wyatt, followed by his teammate James Fox in the 12 top cart. Third position will be Patrick McNeely, followed by Bo Laser in 4. Kyler Hendrickson will be in P5. And then, of course, Grace Geist will round out the field. We have one other cart as well, which will be the driver. We can just double check. Achira Rittenhouse, who will also be in the mix. I don't think that's the right one, so we'll double check from timing and scoring on that. Rittenhouse is in there, as a matter of fact, so yes, apologies on that. We do have one driver who did not take the field. That looks like to be Diesel Maxwell. So we had a total of 8 carts supposedly supposed to start. We are down to 7 as they make their way over through the field to get set for 10 minutes plus 2 laps of action. Bradley, as we see Grayson Wyatt telling everyone, hey, let's slow it down a little bit. We still got to take the green flag here, and as they come up to the starting box and get themselves ready to go. Do we get the green flag? Yes, we do. Green flag, and away we go. And already Grayson Wyatt and James Fox lead the charge as they head over to turns 3 and 4.
Yeah, very quickly getting underway here, and everybody going very quick there. Again, that's one of the things you see with the cadet and sportsman classes. They are very quick on the gun. They are ready to go every time they get behind the cart to race here. Looking over the shoulder, up in the front is Fox, and just going through again. They settle in 10 minutes, so there is a little bit of an endurance factor that comes in for these younger drivers to get through. They've got to be aware of that they have to get to the end of this race. This is not just a simple sort of run and gun sort of time. You have to be able to last all the way through the 10 minutes plus 2 laps here. So let's see how they do as they come out of the final corners for the first time. Cross the line here, and you can see already Fox closing up there to Wyatt, and we'll see here into turn number 2. Any moves being made yet? Not yet, but doggone very close.
So close indeed. Grayson Wyatt, though, will lead the charge. Fox trying everything he can to try and get around his top cart teammate as they come up out onto the back straightaway, heading over to the bus stop. And as they do so, there you see a big run from the 12th top cart of James Fox as they climb the banking at Daytona and make their way down towards the hairpin. Into the braking zone they go. So far, big slide right there by Grayson Wyatt as he was able to recover nicely, and James Fox not putting too much pressure. Meanwhile, McNeely and Laser right there behind, a little bit further in third and fourth position.
They're not too far behind, though. They're McNeely and Laser in third and fourth as they cross the line, and the timing gives us an idea of how far behind they are. About 2 seconds is the gap that they have, which is not bad with 8 minutes left to go. It could definitely be a lot larger. If it was larger, I'd be more concerned, but it is not. So they are fine there as we see Grayson and James Fox there, first and second place, continuing along, just nose to tail at the moment. A little bit of space being given there. Again, teammates working together here. No surprise to see that they are going to be working with each other here. But at what point do the gloves come off and does the battle really happen? Well, I'm expecting a move here, but not to be found. But a little bit of bumper being given from Fox there to that number 5 Kart as they go through and continue to battle their way through the infield section down into turn number 1 across the start finish line. 7.5 minutes left to go here, and these two still pulling out gaps on the field. Gap now 3 seconds.
So this is what would be a great time, as just as I say what I was about to say, here comes Fox trying to go around the outside, thinks better of it, and ducks back in line behind his teammate of Grayson Wyatt. The thing I would suggest for these two, they're pulling away. They've just checked out by over a second on the third place of Beau Lazier. Let these two start to pull away further and further, get that good cushion away from the competition, and then start battling to where even if they do battle and make small mistakes here or there, the rest of the field will not be able to make up time on them with how much time is left on the clock. So let's see if they do that. Let's see if they just try to be able to continue to stretch out that race lead and keep Laser, McNeely, and Hendrickson behind him at the moment as they work their way out of the final corner across the start-finish line. 6.5 minutes plus 2 laps to go. Grayson Wyatt still holds on to the race lead over James Fox. Beau Lazier, well, he's 3.7 seconds back from your race leaders now, so they are losing incredible amount of time each and every single lap.
And that's just going to continue. Just looking at the pace these top two have, they're going to continue to just pull the gloves off and run away with it here as they go. Grayson and Fox here first and second place. I mean, not even looking over the shoulder is the 5. He's kind of okay with it. And look at that line going through Daytona, trying to go a little bit higher up on the banking. Fox is looking for some sort of a different move there, trying to get more aggressive, which I like. I like looking a little bit higher there on the banking, trying to carry a little bit more speed, trying to do a little bit more there while it can be done, and not able to capitalize on it yet, but certainly looked good there trying it. Continuing along here down into turn number 2 we go, and again, slightly alternate line. Pick your line through, inside to outside, try to make the move. Wyatt and Fox still looking to make their way through as the gap now 5 seconds back to McNeely and Laser.
Yeah, this is now where they could possibly start battling it out a little bit more, and as they enter into the bus stop, they will then start to climb the banking once again at Daytona, and really a big run right now we see from Grayson Wyatt to pull away by about a kart length, heading into the braking zone. Slide of the tires from both of them as they enter out off the corner and heading through the infield section of the course. Really good ride, really consistent pace between the top two. They're switching fast lap and fast lap each and every time they cross the start-finish line. Wyatt currently sets fastest, and then just as I say that, James Fox gets back around to set fastest lap of the race with a 51.674, and really setting the pace now. He will continue to lead the charge and has a little bit of a gap over Grayson for the time being.
Yeah, and that little bit of a gap could turn into a lot of bit of a gap here. 4.5 minutes left to go. So we've ran the same amount that they've ran what they've ran all morning now. They've ran 5 minutes plus 2 laps in the heat, and then in qualifying, they only got about 5 laps in, and that's where they're at right now. So everything from here is uncharted territory. This is where that driver endurance for these young drivers is going to come in handy. Let's see what they can bring through between Fox and Wyatt as they go along here, continuing around the infield section here. McNeely, Laser, and Hendrickson there, the 3 behind. You can see how much that gap has opened up. 6.5 seconds last time across the line, but we're still seeing fastest times from James Fox of the session. He just put in the fastest lap of the session at a 51.6 versus McNeely is running a 53.1 last lap. That is significant pace difference between them.
It really is. This is what I love about karting here, because some drivers like to have that set up to where they're strong early in the race, where they can try to see if they can check out and then go on the defensive and blocking. But then there's those ones like James Fox and Grayson Wyatt who prefer to set the pace where it's towards the end of the race and be able to really stretch out that lead or hold on against other competitors without having to worry about low lining around the circuit as much, as we're watching McNeely, Laser, and Hendrickson battling for that final step of the podium. And so far, that 538 of Patrick McNeely really doing everything he can. Bo Lazier right there trying to get around Kyler Hendrickson, not working out in his favor, and loses a little bit of time there, as you see, as the leaders coming out of turn 3 and 4. Now we're seeing the third and back entering turn 2. So it just shows you how far that gap is continuing to stretch. Over 10 seconds between the top 2 and third and fifth.
Yeah, but if you look at third, fourth, and fifth here, the way they're battling, you would think this was the battle for the win here, going through McNeely, Hendrickson, and Lazier doing great to battle through side by side. They go towards the bus stop, single file it out. Now we head towards Daytona, lean into the banking here a little bit. Get your kart to work with you into the banking and continue it along here. Do what you can. Running a little bit wide there is the number 8 as we get near the end here. 2 minutes left to go. Leaders cross the start-finish line here. These three still battling it out through the infield section here, going on to the front stretch. Down and around here again, you can see where the times are spreading, but the battle is so good here. Down towards turn 2 they go, and they're going to hold McNeely to Hendrickson right now in the position they're in here, looking over the shoulder, looking one way to the other, and not able to get the pass for third yet.
Yeah, with those two now, McNeely and Hendrickson, they have dropped off Bo Laser right there. Unfortunately, he will have to hold on to the 5th position, as here comes Hendrickson with a big run, trying to see if he can set himself up out of Daytona. Loses a little bit of time out of the bus stop as they head towards the hairpin. About 2 kart lengths separate the two as they enter into the break zone of the hairpin before entering into the infield section of the course. So far, they will snake their way through, and McNeely getting a little bit of separation now from Hendrickson with a minute 15 plus 2 laps to go. He's got plenty of time to try and see if he can set himself up for a pass to get on the third step of the podium here as they enter into turn 2. Big slide right there from both of them, but we see McNeely starting to pull a little bit of a gap now from Hendrickson.
Plenty of time, though, to figure that out here as we check back in with the front 2 coming through Daytona just as third and fourth were going through the triple apex there in the front half of the circuit, going in for the leaders here. Fox leading weight here, and I don't know how long that's going to stay, though, because look at that dive down the inside. They'll come across the line. 30 seconds to go. Call it 3 laps to go this time by as they go along through. Down into turn 2, will we see a pass from the 5? No, it'll be sitting single file for the moment here, but you can tell these top 2 are aware the time is down, that they are hitting the end points of this feature race, this final, and they are going to be looking to get really aggressive here really early on. They have nobody behind to worry about. It's just these 2 that need to battle it out. Who will win?
Who will come out on top as the clock winds down? 2, 1. We are going to get popsicle sticks in the air. 2 laps to go this time by as they come out of the hairpin. Wyatt trying every which way he can to find the opening, find that little nick in the armor that James Fox has been showing here all day long. James Fox currently trying to come home with another victory this season. 2 laps to go as they head down over into turn number 2. Wyatt trying to put the pressure on as they come out of turn number 2. Nowhere for him to go as they work their way through the final couple of corners.
And as they work their way through here, going down towards the backstretch, and it looks like at the moment it will be settling in where it's at. A little bit of a gap here, but if you have anything left to give, this is probably the time to find it. This is when the adrenaline's going to hit. You know you're near the end of the race, and at this point, if you have nothing left to give at the end of the race, you've done it right. Let's see into the hairpin out of Daytona. Nothing to be found. Down through the infield section, and it looks like here the 12 and the 5 are going to hold where they're at. They'll come across the line into the infield And I do like the slightly different line that the 5 is taking through 14, 15, 16, trying to set something up there. White flag this time by 1 lap to go. Is there a dive into turn 2 here for Wyatt? No, there is not. Fox has a great lead here through turn 2, 3, 4. Looks like here into the final lap, it's really Fox's race to lose, I'd argue.
It really looks like to be the case here, but Grayson Wyatt is going to try everything that he can here in these closing couple of corners. Down the back straightaway for the final time, into the bus stop they will go. Beautiful drive right there, and in fact, James Fox is able to pull away by a couple of kart lanes out of the bus stop into the hairpin. They will go, sliding the tires. You hear them screaming as they enter out of corner exit and approaching lap traffic, but it's to no avail. James Fox, your points leader in 206 Cadets. Well, let's make it 4 wins for him as he captures the flag here at K1 Circuit in Whiteland, and a beautiful drive for him. Grayson Wyatt will round out in second as we wait for the battle for P3 between McNeely and Hendrickson as they come out of the final corners across the start-finish line and give it to the final step of the podium to Patrick McNeely. Kyler Hendrickson, Bo Laser will round out your top 5. And Tria Rittenhouse and Grace Geist will make their way around the circuit. Give those two a round of applause. They are out there just learning the track, learning how to get around these karts, and hopefully the next time when they come back tomorrow, they picked up a thing or two to help them be in competition, maybe to pick up 1 extra spot, or maybe improve on some lap times for them. We'll keep an eye on that tomorrow's coverage of the Indy Karting Challenge. With that one feature race down in the morning section of today's action, and we still have a couple of more to go. We have at least 3 more sessions for the morning coverage of Kart Chaser here at the Indy Karting Challenge at the Whiteland K1 Circuit. And as they do so, it is time for your 206 Sportsman Division. And here is your starting lineup. On the pole position is Austin Taylor, followed by Danny O'Gara in second place. Row 2 will find Blake Martinez and Kason Hendrickson, followed by Liat Simonelik and Christopher Heinzen. Row 4 will find Oliver Shanahan and Richard Dobbins, rounding out your 8-kart field in the Sportsman Finals this morning. Bradley, we saw some great action here in the Sportsman Division between O'Gara, Martinez, and Taylor as those 3 really put on a great show.
Yeah, those 3 were great to watch through the pre-final. I have a feeling here in the final it's going to be more of the same as they go through here and the karts get out on track. They are released to get things through. They'll do 1 lap here to warm up and get going, and that will give them time to get things through here and set up. And I gotta say again, it's 10 minutes. It's double the time plus 2 laps. So I'm curious here for the sportsmen, our second youngest category here, the 8 to 12-year-olds. You're gonna see, again, the same thing that we just saw in the cadet class, a little bit of field spread that'll come into play. You'll see a little bit of different things, but overall, you're gonna see a lot of great racing, and I'm excited to sort of see who shows up and who has, who can impress the most, I would say, through here.
Absolutely. Will we see Austin Taylor take home his first win of the season? Will we see either Blake Martinez or the driver of Danny O'Gara take home another win for them? O'Gara looking for his 2nd win of the season. Martinez, his 4th win of the season. Let's find out. Out of the final corner, they will go into the start box. They will enter to turn them loose here for the next 10 minutes plus 2 laps. Enter into the tram line. Will we get the clear flag here and get set to go racing? Nice run here in the tram line, and green flag is out, and away we go. And already Taylor checking out there ahead with a beautiful jump on the field as they enter into the triple apex here, working their way through 1, 2, and the final apex right about there as they snake their way through onto the back straightaway with a big run coming from O'Gara and Martinez as they make the run to the bus stop.
Very clean race start there from everyone to get through. Turn 1 here at this K1 circuit here is always so So nerve-wracking for everyone involved. Big slides down the inside there through the hairpin, though. That is a kart going extremely wide. I think that was Hendrickson who just almost forgot where the corner was and slid very quick, carrying so much speed out of Daytona. And it looks like able to get back on the track, though. Hold on to it here. Coming along down across the line, kicking things off. Taylor O'Gara, Dobbins up into third. Big shout out to the number 3 to find P3. But the top 2 trying to check out early here and doing so as they look to go. But not as much of a gap as we saw in Cadets. Still a bit of pressure to be found on the top 2. But let's see if the top 2 can find a bit more pace here.
Well, we're about to find out, but give a round of applause to Richard Dobbins, who started quite a ways back, but already has picked up 5 positions on the opening lap. Diesel Maxwell, the other driver who is also out on the circuit, he's also picked up a spot. So those are some of your movers and shakers here on the opening lap as they work their way into the infield section of the course for the final couple of corners. The MPG Kart Republic versus the Top Kart. Here comes O'Gara, try to show the nose on the inside of Taylor. Could not make it work as they cross the line. 8.5 plus 2 to go, and O'Gara already showing he has the pace to lead the charge. He just has to find the opening to get around Taylor for position.
Yeah, O'Gara doing a great job here, sticking with Taylor. I would argue the faster car of the 2, but it's one thing to catch, it's another to pass. And let's see what can be found here. 3rd and 4th, Dobbins and Martinez holding on there as well as we come through. And through the bus stop, they're going to go heading towards Daytona. Again, that gap just a little bit there. Continuing along here down into the hairpin. And you can see the karts rotating hard going through there as they come along, keeping the move alive. To be found here, O'Gara is he continues along, looking through, down, inside, around, across the line they'll come. O'Gara not able to get the pass, but is definitely showing that it can be set up, that it can be done, trying to look to see where it could be at going along and around through the infield, the triple apex here. I think O'Gara might just be buying time right now, just kind of thinking, okay, let's get a little bit deeper into the race before I try anything too risky.
Yeah, let's let Austin Taylor be the rabbit in this case here. Let him just go out there, run his equipment, and hopefully O'Gara towards the end of the race could possibly, at least what he's thinking, reel him back in a sense. You know, you got to kind of look at it like as fishing. You let the line run out a little bit, let that driver get tired out, let the equipment start to go down a little bit in performance, and then just start reeling them slowly back in until you're able to find that opening and make the pass for position here. Same thing happening as we watch the battle for P3 as Martinez was able to get around Richard Dobbins for the 3rd spot. Kason Hendrickson next looks to the inside to see if he can set up a pass to get around Dobbins and does not able to complete the pass just yet, as Dobbins holds comfortable in the 4th spot. Right there behind, you see him behind the FA kart of Blake Martinez as they come out towards the back straightaway, heading into the bus stop. Good run coming there from Dobbins. Can he set something up out of Daytona? Here they come out of the Daytona corner, down into the hairpin. Tries to show the nose, not able to make it work, and as they do so, will continue on their way.
It's all about just kind of getting the feel there, though, I'd argue, for Dobbins. If you can just kind of show that you're there, it can throw off the kart ahead, mix things up, and get things going. Taylor O'Gara here continuing along up in the front there as they go 1 and 2 respectively. Gap 3 seconds for them back into Martinez and Dobbins, and that is, I would argue, not as comfortable as you would think right now with 5.5 minutes plus 2 laps to go. It's comfortable enough that I think if O'Gara really wanted to go for the charge on Taylor, now would be an okay time. But again, as we just discussed, it's kind of playing that game here, letting things sort of settle in a little bit. As you can see, they come out of Daytona through the hairpin and continuing along here. Right now, it's bide your time. This is where the heats ended. So again, we're into uncharted territory. It's that driver endurance and these young drivers, ages 8 to 12, that you have to really watch here. And the 206 Sportsman, that tends to be where some of the drivers get caught out, I feel. Taylor, you may have a different experience, but I think it's that endurance at the end of the final that can sometimes catch drivers off guard.
Well, you mentioned a good point a few minutes ago there, Bradley, with the mind games, playing it out. It's all mostly about, if you think about it, some people think, oh, it's all about how the car performs and how well you drive. No, it's also about how smart you can be and how mindful you can be with other drivers and anticipating of how things will happen. If you can think about, okay, you watch this certain driver and realize he's maybe good in the beginning, but in the end his car starts to peel off, or he gets a little bit too tired, that endurance starts to go down, but you're able to just stay smooth, consistent, and focused in. That could be a big benefit for you as well. And also, like you said, of just trying to maybe set up a pass a certain way but not go for it to cause that driver ahead of you to make a mistake. That's another way for these drivers can play mind games on each other to realize, hey, I can get around you no matter what. I'm just going to wait and see if you'll make that mistake for me to make it easier on myself to make the pass, instead of going up there and making my equipment not perform as I would want to towards the end of the race. And that's what we're seeing maybe up there with O'Gara and Taylor. Dobbins now back into P3. He was able to get back around Hendrickson for the third spot. Really great drive for Richard Dobbins.
Great drives for all of these karts really going through here. Dobbins, though, up into that P3, but unfortunately with 3.5 minutes left to go, they got 4.3 seconds up to the front two. Unfortunately for Dobbins, P3 is kind of going to be where it maxes out here on the Saturday as they go. We won't see this class again until tomorrow, unfortunately, which they put on some great racing. I'd love to see some more of them today, but with the way they structure things here at the K1 circuit here for these rounds, we won't see them again. This is their final. This is the big last showdown. So again, if you have anything left in that kart to put on track today, you might as well put it down now. As we see up front, battles continuing along. There is a close battle. The closest we've seen it here, O'Gara has gotten past Taylor, and now Taylor has went from the defensive, the run, and now needs to attack here. 2.5 minutes left to go. I think the mind games have been played.
The mind games have indeed been played, as O'Gara does take over the race lead. Taylor finds his way a little bit further behind. He is 4/10 off the pace compared to your race leader of Danny O'Gara, but here he comes back on the charge, tries to find the opening he needs, can't quite do it through the triple apex, and as they do so down into that little kink before entering the back straightaway, Taylor has to set himself up. Big run coming for him. Will he try to send it in through the bus stop? He's going to stay tucked up behind for the moment, follow suit, but he is on a big run here. He'll try the outside, get some momentum, looks to the inside as they head into the hairpin, does not make it work. He will then follow suit here, under 2 minutes to go plus 2 laps, but loses a little bit of time as they enter the infield section.
Taylor has pace. That is what that just told me with that little peek through Daytona. Taylor has pace. It's just a matter of capitalizing on it here. Coming across the line with 90 seconds left to go here, down into turn 2, not going for a pass yet, but setting things up beautifully right on the rear bumper here, going through and around and letting things breathe when it needs to breathe, closing things up when it needs to be closed up. Great track knowledge here. Great racecraft really being shown here by Taylor. Taylor looking for the move here on O'Gara going through, and again looking here through Daytona, very fast. O'Gara very defensive, and now through the hairpin tries to send it a little bit deeper, not able to make it stick, but again just right there, and with under 60 seconds to go, that's what you need right now. You need to be right there, and then you have a few more laps to try to make it stick.
Austin Taylor seems to be really strong on the pretty much 3/4 of the track. He has that really good pace, but he seems to be struggling once you come out of the hairpin into that infield section, which I have to say is the most important part, because that's where it leads to the checkered flag. And O'Gara seems to have a lot of pace through that section of the course. So watch this here. You see Taylor gets a great run out of that corner, heading down the back straightaway, gets right on the back bumper as they enter into the bus stop. Let's see if he tries to set something up through the banking of Daytona, goes a little bit higher to see if he can build some speed up. Does stay tucked up behind, doesn't show the nose to try to get around. But right there, off corner exit, you see how much speed O'Gara gets off corner exit, and that just gives him enough breathing room to lead the charge towards the start-finish line, which we will see 2 laps to go for your race leader of Danny O'Gara. Across the line he will go, and he has a 0.3 of a second lead as both of them nearly ran identical lap times.
Taylor with the switch here from O'Gara, running a different line into turn 2, trying to find inside to outside, one way to the other, and Taylor not able to make it work. You pointed out a lot faster in the straights, but a lot slower in the corners, which unfortunately is really proving to play here. O'Gara looking over the shoulder, knows Taylor wants to go for a move here. Going into Daytona, looking through, and defensive line from O'Gara here. Taylor's going to go outside, switch back to the inside, trying to set that up, and again, O'Gara has to hold defensive here coming into the infield section, but has more speed on exit. That Kart is a lot more compliant in the corners than Taylor's is, but as we come through, this is the best run that Taylor's had the whole time here. White flag out, 1 lap to go. Let's see what happens as they head towards turn 2, looking one way to the other, outside to inside, down to the outside. O'Gara defends the inside. Is there a switchback? Not at the moment, and O'Gara will hold on to the lead for 3/4 of a lap. That's the question.
Here we go, coming through the final couple of corners here as they head down the back straightaway for the final time. Taylor really has the speed. He'll now look to the inside as they head into the bus stop. Will he make that brave decision? He will. He's going to push him up the track and take over the race lead as they come out of Daytona down towards the hairpin. He has about a kart length advantage into the corner and will be able to maintain a beautiful pass for the race lead here on the closing stages as he snakes his way through the S's. But here comes O'Gara down on the bottom to capitalize. Side by side, contact is made between the two, and as they come out of the final corner, it is going to be Austin Taylor who captures the flag here at Indy K1 circuit here at Whiteland. A beautiful drive here for the MPG Kart Republic to hold off Danny O'Gara.
Hard-fought battle there between Taylor and O'Gara. To the end, Dobbins in third. Blake Martinez was able to find fourth in the end with Kason Hendrickson up into fifth. Liat Simonelik in sixth. Christopher Hines in seventh. Oliver Shahan in P8. And Diesel Maxwell in ninth place when it's all said and done. What a great final lap there from these 206 Sportsman karts.
Absolutely incredible job here for the action here today, and really good fight for the final lap here in your 206 Sportsman as we work their way through. I gotta say, that's gonna be a highlight reel of the day for sure.
Oh, absolutely. That was awesome. That was such a great run here, and I'm curious to see what happens whenever 206 Masters comes out. Again, I've said it time and time again, watching the difference between Sportsman and Masters is so much fun, but one thing I'll tell you about 206 Masters, they're going to race just as hard.
And with that, we'll go ahead and give it a few minutes. We'll wait for the drivers to come in, but while we wait, here is your starting lineup for the 206 Masters division. On the pole position will be the number 13 of Derek Hastings, followed by your championship leader, Evan McCorkadale, in second place. Third position will be Brian Williams, followed by Matt Geist in fourth. Row 3 will see Kevin Simonelik and William McLaughlin. Row 4 will find Troy Toney, who is definitely going to be on a rebound after the issues that he had in his heat race. Tyler Durman will round out in 8th. And rounding in 9th position will be Joseph Dirte. We'll see if he enters out on the track here today for the finals, as he will start shotgun of the field in 9th position. And the answer will be no, Joseph Dirte. We will have 8 karts for the action in 206 Masters.
Unfortunate for Dirte to not see him out here going through, but 8 karts to take on 10 minutes plus 2 laps. We'll see here what happens. The heat race was any indication. There's going to be a lot of what we just talked about with the mind games being played here. A lot of, pick your place to pass. A lot of playing, outside to inside. A lot of switchbacks. This is going to be an interesting one to kind of see how these 206 Masters are 35 and older class handle this track.
McCorkadale looking for his 4th win of the season. Hastings looking for his 2nd win. Troy Toney, his 3rd win of the season. This has been one of the most competitive classes in the Indy Karting Challenge, as we've had multiple different winners in this field, and we'll find out who comes out on top. Your top three. Don't forget Brian Williams. He is a points leader in the 206 Supermasters, but decided to drop down into the 206 Masters to have some fun and go toe-to-toe with some of his competitors here today. Same thing with McLaughlin, who competes in the 206 Legend category. Green flag is out, and away we go, and already they are side by side for the race lead as McCorkadale trying to get the race lead away as quickly as possible. He'll slide up, and already Hastings and company 3 wide as they come through the final apex there of that corner and work their way over towards the back straightaway.
Everybody making it through turn 1 well here as they go down into the bus stop, heading towards Daytona for the first of many times here in this 10-minute final as they go through. Nobody looking for any sort of brave dive into the hairpin through the infield section here. Looking over the shoulder, multiple drivers are getting an idea of who's behind, who's where, going through a little bit of a pick there, looking for a move early on from second place. And now they cross the line here, and we'll get things set up for this full run here. Geist was really thinking about a move on Hastings, but now Geist has to defend from McCorkindale and Brian Williams behind.
Absolutely, and apologies on that. It is Brian Williams who leads the 206 Legends, McLaughlin the 206 Supermasters on the championship. That they'll be racing later on this afternoon in their competition, but right now it is Derek Hastings who has said goodbye to the rest of the field. Hello, open racetrack for him as he leads the charge up to Daytona. Matt Geist, though, really strong run for him as he is holding off your championship points leader of Evan McCorkadale as they come out through the hairpin and into the infield section of the track. Your 206 Masters putting on another stellar drive here today.
That they are here early on, and you can see Geist under pressure here from McCorkindale. McCorkindale looks over the shoulder back to see where Brian Williams is, and then Simonelik and Tony are in the mix as well. We saw what happened there in the pre-final with Tony in that 24 card. I would imagine that 24 card is going to want to work his way back forward here, try to have some runs here early on, and try to get more into the mix back up towards the podium places here towards the end of this final here, coming back into the backstretch again. And Hastings, I don't know what isn't on that cart, but very clearly has something that the others don't, has just checked out, taken off here, has said adios, sayonara, see you later, whatever you would like to call it, and is just not worried about anyone behind you or on the early run.
Really good fight for position here as the field works their way out through the infield section. There you see Troy, Tony, Tail, and Charlie of this group of 5 as those 5 drivers are trying to see if they can hunt down Hastings. Geist still holds on to second, and so far it is Derek Hastings who sets fastest lap of the race.
Yeah, and Hastings, no surprise there with the gap that's going out with the fastest lap here. Still watching Geist. I would say the cork in the bottle right now for McCorkindale going through as Brian Williams is also in the mix looking for a move where it can be found here. Brian Williams kind of in a weird no-man land as well. Not too close to the carts ahead, not too close to the carts behind, but isn't in a free air position here in that P4. Looking through, going around, Geist, McCorkindale, bumper to bumper, still trying to find what they can, where they can, and we'll see here, did they gain any time to Hastings as they cross the line? Don't believe they did. I'm sure that gap has slightly opened up more. It has 1.44 the gap here down into turn 2. Again, Geist, McCorkindale just bumper to bumper.
Yeah, it seems like there's now a little bit of the cork in the bottle type situation. I wonder what will happen if McCorkindale can find his way around Geist. Can he make the charge up towards the front of the field? But so far, it seems like Geist is just keeping him a little bit further back, which allows everyone else to kind of compress their way and causing this group to get a little bit bigger as they come out of Daytona down towards the hairpin. So far, so good. McCorkindale just trying to find his opening. He'll try to go around the outside, cross over on the inside as Williams watches on in 4th.
Yeah, Williams there in 4th is really going to want to get past both of them here if possible. You see Williams taking a slightly different line out of the exit into the final corner towards turn 1, looking for just that opportunity to go through where it can be found here. Leader comes through turn 2, and then Geist, McCorkindale, Brian Williams, Tony, and Simonelik all through turn 2 now as they go through the triple apex infield section here down onto the backstretch. Everyone just looking to do what they can here, trying to save the equipment. We've again officially hit that point in the race where this is the longest they ran in heats. This was the length of qualifying. We've now got 5 more minutes. Do you have any extra endurance? Have you been saving anything through this? And that'll be what I think I'm curious to see here for the last half of this race is, does McCorkindale have something that Geist doesn't? Is Geist driving to the limit, or has Geist been conserving? Is Hastings overdriving? All questions that'll be answered here in the next 5 minutes plus 2 laps.
Absolutely. We're about to find out here as they work their way through the Triple Apex right now, and Hastings still comfortable with a 1.9 second, about 2 second lead over Geist as McCorkindale does get around him right there. And now, can we see McCorkindale make the charge to catch up to Hastings with 4.5 minutes? We've seen him come back from large gaps to close up on competitors in other classes this season, but can he do it here in your 206 Masters? Set the clock. Let's see what his lap time will be as they get ready to come across the start finish line. Currently the gap right at about 2 seconds for them as they work through the chicanes of the S's, and now heading on to the front straightaway across the line. Hastings sets a fast lap, and right now 2.4 seconds. So they lost a little bit of time with them jockeying around for position. Let's see what McCorkindale can do as he sets his fast lap, but it is nowhere near Derek Hastings' pace.
And there's Tony up the inside of Brian Williams getting a great move there in for that 4th position going around. So they swap positions there in the mid-pack. And Guy still sticking to the back of McCorkindale here. I thought he was going to go for a move into the bus stop, but does not here now going through Daytona. Is there more time to find here for McCorkindale? This is the indication. This is the lap that will really tell me where time can be found and if we can see McCorkindale really close that gap here. Let's see as they cross the line here and where the lap times sit. Crossing the line here, it's a 50.087 Derek Hastings. McCorkindale 50.617 last lap and a 50.617 last lap and a 50.5 for Matt Geist. So unfortunately, I think for Hastings, this is just a race where Hastings just needs to drive to the end and kind of check out. I think, unfortunately, for everyone else behind, there's just not much left in the karts to give. I don't know if that's a setup difference or what that is, but very clearly, Hastings is so comfortable in that kart compared to everyone else.
We'll see how it all plays out here because he is running out of time, running out of options as here comes the 531 of Geist with a big run. Troy Toney also right there in the hunt as those two will try to see if they can work together, get around McCorkindale for the race lead here. But Hastings still holds on to the race lead. He'll come across the line, a 55 for him. And no really major gain right there either for McCorkindale. He still loses a little bit of time for him, the race leader, but he is got some work to do, but he's got to worry about Geist and Tony, who are also all over his back bumper.
See, and that's where things get interesting is the decision. Do you worry about the kart ahead or do you worry about the karts behind? Which one is, the bigger concern? And I would honestly say right now, if you are McCorkindale, it's all about who's behind you and holding off who is behind you, because that's some fast-charging karts that are behind you of Geist and Tony. And they could very easily really put some pressure down and get through if they, go to set it up. And I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see Tony really set things up, trying to get through sooner rather than later, coming down around the front stretch into turn 2. And I think with a minute and a half left plus 2 laps, Tony has been a fast charger here, and I would not be surprised if we don't see Tony try to gun for that P2 and get ahead of Geist and McCorkindale over the next couple laps going through the back stretch. We'll see here. Is there anything in the bus stop? Not yet. Sticking right to the back. I would say next opportunity is out of Daytona into the hairpin, going through Daytona around, looking pretty good here. Now down into the hairpin, doesn't pull out for a move, but definitely looks quick.
Very quick run coming here as they snake their way. It's going to be 3 laps to go for your leader of Hastings. As he comes across the line, he will continue to lead the charge. And here comes McCorkindale and company. They are now just it's now just a matter of him holding off Tony and Geis, as here comes Tony to the inside of Matt Geis. He'll push him out of the way a little bit, move him up to P3 for Troy Tony, and now sets his sights on the driver of Evan McCorkadale, his championship rival.
I think it's a matter of when, not if, Tony can get past McCorkadale. And the bigger question is, will we have enough time for that to happen here as we continue to watch them come through Daytona, down through just off the bottom of your screen there, when your race leader of Hastings. Hastings has continued to check out here going through and is just looking to pull time. We'll get the popsicle sticks this time by. 2 laps to go will be the call here. So let's see what can happen for Tony to get past McCorkadale. Very quickly closing the gap here. Is it back-to-back turn 2 moves? It is down the inside into turn 2. Can he make it stick? He's going to send McCorkadale a little wide here. Tony's going to look to make the move here inside to outside coming through, and is going to look to switch back through towards the inside. Doesn't make it stick, but definitely that is the signal of, hey, I'm here. Watch out. I want that P2.
He is doing an incredible job right here as he sets himself up for a big run through the corner and already tries to work his way through. But here comes Troy Tony as he tries to set up for a pass on the inside out of the hairpin. Can't quite make it work for him as they snake their way for the S's. Meanwhile, your race leader, Derek Hastings, coming around to take the white flag one more time around for him as he leads the charge, looking for his second victory of the season. McCorkadale running out of options, just needs a points race, but here comes Troy Tony to the bottom of the racetrack. Will push McCorkadale up the racetrack. They'll go side by side through the triple apex, and as they do so, McCorkadale with a big run holds off, but here comes Matt Geis. He'll show the nose to the inside, try to push McCorkadale up the racetrack even more, but could not pick up the 2-for-1 special as here comes Derek Hastings through the bus stop and up through Daytona for the final time here today. It's going to be win number 2 for him of the season, and some much valuable point standings for him in your 206 Masters category. Out of the final couple of corners, they will go, leading the charge, and the black machine of Derek Hastings wins in 206 Masters. McCorkadale has to worry about the competition behind as he comes across the line. Will McCorkadale hold second? He will, ahead of Tony, Geis, and Williams, your top 5.
Thing I absolutely love to see there is you saw as soon as they crossed the line, they knew the race was over. Fist bumps. That's hard, respectful racing that's being given from all of them. So I love seeing that as soon as the race was over, they knew the checkered flag was done. The fist bump was given.
Yeah, really good camaraderie between the competitors here in your 206 Masters. They really appreciate racing with each other, and almost is a certain type of when it comes to club racing, a brotherhood, a group of people who really enjoy, a big family, because they know, yeah, we are hard competitors. We will race hard with each other, but we will show each other the much-deserved respect that is given out there on the racetrack because of how well they race each other as they head into the scale line and get themselves ready to make sure that they're all good and legal. And now it is time for the KA Junior Finals that are next up on the docket. There is your full field rundown. William McLaughlin, unfortunately, did not finish as well. He will finish 8th position, and then Tyler Demon will finish P7. Hopefully, we'll see them make some improvements and join us again tomorrow for action in the 206 Masters division. But it is time now for your KA 100 Junior category that is about to head out onto the racetrack. And as they do so, the gates have opened. It's time to release the drivers. And will Lucien Lazier hold on in the competition? He's had a little bit of a rough go at it here this season. And as they do so, here is your starting lineup. On the pole position, it is Andrew Avelos, followed by Mason Galen in second. Dylan Thomas will be in P3, followed by Nolan Wade. Lucien Lazier will be P5, followed by Jordan Lathan in 6th position. Ryan Mort in 7th with Evan Patton 8th. And Elijah Matson-Vigas will round out your 9-kart field.
Everybody coming around through Daytona here, getting set up for KA Junior Final. This is going to be a very, very competitive final here. I have a feeling that we're going to see everything kind of culminate that we've talked about so far, plus a little bit more that we're probably not expecting as they get double file here coming out of the infield section. And let's see who is really feeling it here into the race start. Will they get the green flag this time through? A couple stragglers still trying to catch up here.
And here's the green flag, and away they go as they head off into the corner. Already drivers working their way through the field, and so far so good as they come out of the first couple of corners. Andrew Avelos leads the charge as they head down towards the back straightaway.
Yeah, as they go through down the back straightaway, holding on, doing a great job of keeping going down into the hairpin. Everybody, no drama being found, no impacts, no wrecks, nothing crazy. As we see moments there in the infield, as soon as I say it, commentator's curse coming to play as we cross the line here and get set up. And it is going to be Avalos up in the front. I just love commentators cursing.
Mark that for the Bradley commentator curse #1 of the morning. So we'll see how it goes out for him throughout the rest of the day. And I'm pretty sure I'll have a couple as a big sin right there by one of our competitors going up to P4. I believe that was Ryan Mort in the 812 machine in his Kart Republic as he is trying to fight his way through. And already you see Galen and Avelos already checking out as there you see the MPG Kart Republic as well in the hunt. And off goes one driver into the grass. Close call indeed, but they were able to save it. Trying to get the number on that one. Was that Lazier right there? Can't quite tell, but it is still Avelos, Galen, Mort, Lathan, then Patton, your top 5. Bo Lazier sits P6, and Thomas, unfortunately, he was the one who had the issue. He will drop off pace with Matson Vegas and Wade rounding out the field, as your biggest mover is Evan Patton in 5th position after picking up a couple of spots.
Looks like up front here, Avelis and Galen have decided to really check out here and run through. They're going to try to open up the field here with Mort there in 3rd. Really just trying to get away from the rest of the field. Great run from them. 4th place back, though, is going to be very competitive, but we'll see here if they can, use that fishing analogy that you said earlier and just reel things in. Again, remember, they have to get through 10 minutes plus 2 laps, and we're only a quarter of the way through the race distance right now, so they've still got plenty of time to be found. You don't want to use your equipment too early. You don't want to go too fast too early, because unfortunately you do that and it kind of spells game over. There is that little bit of sprint endurance that has to be found, and we'll see here if that number 7 car in the front has it, or is this just unfortunately a little too much too early.
Well, we're going to find out right now. We see Andrew Avelis setting the pace significantly. 45.3 last time by to Galen's 45.6. So he is really being the rabbit in this game here as they work their way out across the front straightaway. 45.1 as he crosses the line. Galen a 45.7. So I have a feeling Galen's going to just let Avelis be that rabbit and let him run out of line here to where he can maybe tire that kart out and then reel him back in. As we watch a little further back, the battle around 5th and 6th between Lathan, Laser, and company as they work their way out onto the back straightaway.
Onto the back straightaway they go as they continue along here, just through the bus stop, looking for a move if it can be found here. Laser looking very, very comfortable there behind Lepin. Big slides through the hairpin, and that is how you carry momentum in karting. You just absolutely slide the kart in its entirety going along, just trying to do as much as possible there and not lose momentum. Sometimes it works, sometimes it can be a little dangerous, but that is one of the interesting things with the way these karts handle, is that sometimes you're better off kind of drifting it than you are just hoping the grip sticks and being there, and that is just the quickest way to get around here. Everybody getting into a nice, comfortable midpoint. Fastest kart on track right now is the 812 of Ryan Mort. He set the fastest lap of anyone on the last lap with a 45.1 flat. Unfortunately for him, it's not that much faster than anyone. It's a 45.17 for Andrew Avalos and Mason Galen with a 45.11. So if Ryan Mort wants to really close things up, he's going to have to do a lot more than just a couple hundredths above 1st and 2nd place.
And just to say that, Avalos goes to a 44.7, so he kicked in the afterburners in response. 2.7 is the gap between himself and Galen. Then you got to go another 1.4 seconds back to Ryan Mort. Patton starting to close in a little bit, not much, as he is a second and a half behind as those two work their way out onto the back straightaway. But the best battle you see is between Jordan Latham and Lucien Lazier as those two will go battling up through Daytona down towards the hairpin, and Lazier tries to set himself up for a pass, can't quite make it work as he tries to find the opening to get around the competitor of Jordan Latham.
Yeah, and coming through, looking for that opening where it can be found here. Leader up in the front. Just you can see the gap there really opened up, continuing to open up here. As in response, Ryan Mort went even faster than Andrew Avalos' best lap. 44.761 now going through, so 0.3 faster than the leader last time through. But again, still not fast enough to close that 3.8 second gap here. 4 minutes left to go. Coming through, leader comes through Daytona down into the hairpin, and again you can see really trying to send that cart around and go through. Mort is starting to close on Galen though there for the second place battle, so give that some time, and I think that's going to get very, very competitive very quick.
Absolutely. Really strong fight for the battling of positioning here as they head down into turn number 2. But there you see Avalos really still setting the pace here for the time being. Ryan Moore did set a fast lap, but just not able to close the gap. He was able to pick up a little bit of time as he has caught the back bumper of Mason Galen as they head down the back straightaway.
Down the back straightaway, continuing along here, you can see the pressure starting to be applied here, but it's one thing to catch, it's another to pass. Trying to set something up through Daytona, slightly different line coming into the hairpin, sticking right to the back there, going around. Let's see here where a pass can be found, losing time in the infield section. So again, we're seeing that if you're very quick down the back stretch and the front stretch, you're not as quick on those twisty infield bits, which unfortunately is very important here at this K1 circuit. You have to be able to really set that up perfectly and really kind of balance everything. Otherwise, you end up in this position where you gain, and then you lose time, and it just doesn't work out here. Down the backstretch, watch this gap close up now as they go down through the backstretch here, continuing to close that gap through the bus stop, even closer now, bumper to bumper almost, coming through Daytona, but down into the hairpin. Watch how quickly this gap is going to open. Maybe I spoke too soon. Deep dive down the inside from Mort, and Mort with a great move there from Galen to get the pass.
Beautiful pass right there by Ryan Mort in that Kart Republic as he will try to lead the charge here in the MPG against the top kart as they head over towards the start-finish line. Let's take a look at the gap. The gap is 3.9 seconds with 2.5 minutes plus 2 laps to go. It's a tall order for Ryan Mort, but we've seen him make some incredible drives here at the K1 circuit in Whiteland. And as they do so, heading over towards the back straightaway, let's see what he can do, because he is pulling away and pulling a gap over Mason Galen as they work their way through the bus stop before climbing the banking at Daytona and head towards the hairpin.
Out of the hairpin they go, still running through, and I'm curious to see if Galen has a response for that. 1:45 plus 2 laps to go. Call it about 4 laps to go this time through then as they continue along here. Maybe 5 laps. We'll see where the timer falls. But you can see through fastest kart on track last lap was Ryan Mort actually over our race leader. So Ryan Mort, 4 seconds to close in just about 4 or 5 laps time. It's a bit too much, but Mort should be able to have a nice secure second place here as things spread out up in the front as they go through. Still, I'm curious to see if it stays this way, but Mort clearly has been saving some pace in that car, has a lot of pace to be found here coming through the infield section, going through 60 seconds left to go here. And as they go around here, Avalos will hold on to the lead very comfortably by 3.5 seconds now, actually. Gap starting to close.
Picked up about half a second on your race leader right there. That's what you need him to do. But the thing is, you don't want it to plateau anymore. You want to make that steady incline up towards where you're faster or gaining ground. You don't want to plateau, and you definitely don't want to descend in time and space between yourself and your race leader. As we work our way out of the hairpin right now, Avelos trying to hold on. That Kart seems to be handling okay, but I have a feeling that those tires, with him being a rabbit and just pulling away as quickly as he did, if they're starting to lose a little bit of that grip right here in the closing stages. 3 laps to go for your race leader. A 44.7, a 44.5, another 0.2 off the board for Ryan Mort. 3.3 seconds separates your top two, and he is really trying to kick in the afterburners right now, but I think it might be too little too late for Ryan Mort with 2 laps to go when they come across the start-finish line.
I definitely agree with you there. There might be too little too late, but only one way to really find out. Nothing's over till the checkered flag flies, and you never know. If that Kart starts handling really poor for the race leader there, the number 7, it could make things get very interesting. We've seen crazier things happen in karting. Only one way to find out here. Let's see what the gap is as they cross the line of the popsicle sticks. There is your race leader through, and then here comes second place. Gap 2.9, so it is still closing. But again, I think it's just too little too late going through here as they continue along. Battles continue to develop. And let's see what can really, really be found here on the final end. Through the backstretch we go, down the bus stop towards Daytona. And it does look like at the moment it's going to be Andrew Avalos, who is just sort of, I think, relaxed a little bit, honestly. I think not driving near as hard and is just trying to get this kart to the end.
I think so, because when he comes out of the hairpin, he's got enough of time to take a look to see how far he is ahead, and just now is maintaining that gap over Ryan Mort. White flag in the air one more time around for him. The gap is now 2.3 seconds as we see Ryan Mort pick up 0.6 of a second on Ryan Avalos, but I don't think he'll be able to make it up. But for Andrew Avalos, he is really setting himself up for a great run. I got to say, for tomorrow's action, when they race in the afternoon here in your KA Junior category, keep an eye on these two. These two could have us a really stellar fight if Mort is able to get a better start on the race and maybe start towards further up the field and try and chase down Andrew Avalos. But through the chicanes for the final time, the Lando Norris kart of Andrew Avalos looking to come around, and he will pick up his first win in KA Junior for the season. Ryan Mort and Mason Galen will come across the line to round out your podium. Evan Patton, Jordan Lathan will round out your top 5 here. We'll give it a couple of seconds for Jordan, and he does. Then it's going to be Lucian Lazier, Elijah Matson-Vegas, Dylan Thompson, and Nolan Wade. Those two are going to have a little drag race to the start-finish line, and across the line, it will be Dylan Thomas over Nolan Wade to round out your 9-kart field. Great run. Looking forward to seeing what happens for them tomorrow. But for Andrew Avalos, win number 1 for the season.
Great win there from Andrew going through. Great run from everyone going through. And honestly, KA Junior, as competitive as you would ever expect it going around here. It's going to leave one more final here for the Kart Chaser coverage. 206 Light coming up. And I think 206 Light is going to be just as competitive here. We'll see what happens as they get ready here in just a moment.
Absolutely. It's going to be a battle between Braden Heber and Levi Wilbur for sure in the championship. And here is your starting lineup. Adam Maxwell, who was a surprise winner in the heat race earlier this morning. He'll start on pole alongside Levi Wilbur, Braden Heber in P3, Colton Kelly P4, Gage Justiano in P5, followed by Colin Harden in 6. Andrew Petrie and Ethan Williams will be in row 4, and rounding out your top 10 will be Andrew Goldman and Gavin Holtum in 10th position. That's your top 10 starting lineup for today's action as they come across the line for the final race of the morning session. We're then going to step aside, take a quick commercial break, and then we'll be back to free coverage for qualifying for the afternoon session. So make sure to go tell your friends, tell your family to follow us and subscribe on Kart Chaser on YouTube. And if you want to be a part of the premium membership, you can catch all the action by subscribing for $9.99 a month on YouTube to catch all of the great national karting racing action throughout the year. Of course, next week we will be up in Indiana once again for the United States Pro Kart Series for the Indiana Grand Prix as they get set for their action. And then, of course, we have more exciting action later on for some grassroots events as well as other special events. Of course, next time we will see these drivers here at K1. I'll double check on that for later on, but we also have action at the Motorsports Country Club of Cincinnati for their Pro-Am Championship on the weekend of August 23rd and 24th, as well as also the big show for the Miami Grand Nationals at Trackhouse on August the 30th through 31st. But for now, lights are out. We are set to go racing for the final race of the morning session. Levi Wilbur, Maxwell, and Kelly and Heber lead us into the start box. Do we get the green flag? Yes, we do. And away we go. And already it's going to be Wilbur who leads us into turn one.
Yeah, great run there from Wilbur to get out of turn one well. Everybody getting through turn one well, back near the back of the pack, still running 2x2, trying to sort themselves out. But up front, top four breaking away already from the rest of the pack here as they come down the back stretch, going single file here as they go through. Let's see here what Heber can do up in second already. Can he hold on to it? Top three looking through, no dives early on, make it through lap one clean. I think will be the run of things as we see, I believe that is Wilbur down in third going through. They'll cross the line in a moment here and we will re-verify, but everyone can identify Heber there from that bright helmet and those bright accents there on the blue and yellow / green as we see Maxwell, Heber, Wilbur, Kelly, Harden, Justinano, your top six as they go through.
Beautiful pass right there at the start of the race there for Adam Maxwell as he leads the charge once again here today and picking up where he left off in the heat race. Braden Heber all over his back bumper with Levi Wilbur sitting third as it's a three-kart breakaway. Colton Kelly trying to keep up with this group of three, but is starting to lose a little bit of the touch right there as they climb the banking of Daytona heading into the hairpin. And Heber just going to try to just push his competitor of Adam Maxwell away and see if they can make it into a two-kart breakaway ahead of Levi Wilbur.
And ahead here of Wilbur, still coming down the front stretch. Let's see here where they land in times. Braden Heber actually showing as the fastest kart on track right now, but again, holding that second place, not able to get the pass done yet here going through. Top three really sticking together, and I think Kelly is going to start to close in as well. So watch out for Colton Kelly there in P4. If Colton Kelly closes in, it's going to start putting some pressure on Wilbur and Heber to hurry up and make passes and go through. And again, with this being 10 minutes plus 2 laps, you really can't afford to overdrive, because if you overdrive early on, it's going to hurt you later in. So let's see what happens for them going through the infield section yet again. Heber not making a pass. Down the inside actually goes Wilbur. Wilbur able to make a pass on Heber with a great run there. And that is going to put Wilbur up into second. Heber down into third, but kind of looks content with that for now.
Absolutely. Great drive right there from Wilbur to take over that second spot. Maxwell, though, enjoying this because that allows him to get a little bit of breathing room for the time being as we watch these drivers work their way through. Heber drops back to P3, and they have broken away from Colton Kelly, who's in no man's land right now at the moment, as the next group is led by Gage Justiano, who breaks the top 5. But here they come through the bus stop up the banking of Daytona, and Wilbur thinks about, looks to the inside. Will he send it in? He will. Completes the pass, but here comes Maxwell trying to capitalize and cross him up a little bit. Can't quite make it work. And here it comes back on the inside again. He will capitalize and find the opening. Wilbur tries to repay the favor, but could not make it work. Little tap on the helmet there from Wilbur to Heber. And for 3/4 of a lap, here comes Wilbur once again to the inside, sends it in deep. Maxwell tries to cross him up a little bit once again and cannot make it work as Maxwell goes around the outside. He has good setup for maybe a bottom run here, cannot make it work. And here comes Wilbur to lead the charge out of the corner.
Yeah, Wilbur coming through, leading that charge along. Let's see here what Maxwell can respond with here. As you see, Heber very content to sit in third and just kind of watch these two battle out. I think Heber is saving it for the back half of the race to really try to make a move and make something happen here. Top two going along and continuing their battles all the way through. Let's see what happens going through final couple of corners here, and they'll settle it in single file 5. under 6 minutes left to go, plus 2 laps as they come along here. Wilbur, Maxwell, P1, P2, respectively, down into turn 2. No passes happening yet, but setting things up, running a little bit tighter of a line inside to outside. You see Heber looking to mix things up as well, going through and continuing along here where they can. Still looking for something down the back stretch. Sitting single file, hairpin, next option for a pass.
Yeah, that's going to be, seems to be the case right now for the moment for Maxwell. Heber just sitting patiently in the catbird seat, ready to make a move if the opening presents itself for him. And so far, Levi Wilbur starting to pull a little bit of a ground here as they continue to work their way around the circuit. So far, so good for the 506 machine of Levi Wilbur, as he will look to try to get another notch on the belt here as he comes across the line. And Maxwell with a big run. Heber follows suit, cannot get the run. It's now just a little bit of pull away, see what you can do, and see if your kart's good enough for the end of the race here, as we are approaching under 5 minutes plus 2 laps to go.
And now we're into, again, that uncharted territory. This is the part where none of these karts have ran today. So what do you do? We've seen how it's played out in other classes. What is there to give here? And you can see Maxwell really working Daytona there, trying to get a pass done against Wilbur and not able to yet. Wilbur opens up a little bit here through the infield, and now Maxwell has to try to close it again. Heber closing things up a little bit, taking that slightly different line. These top 3 playing that cat and mouse game very well. Those mind games that we've talked about all the way through the final. You play the little give and take here. You kind of set things up where you can and do what you can to sort of get in the head of the kart ahead and make it a little bit easier to get the pass if you can here. Wilbur, Maxwell, first, second place, still going through. Heber, a little bit of breathing room there to third, but I wouldn't call it a lot of breathing room, but just a little bit of a moment there going through now down through the bus stop. We go, and let's see, through Daytona yet again here, slightly wider through Daytona to try to carry some more speed, but not gonna go for a move into the hairpin.
Yeah, nothing really starting to come to fruition here for these drivers at the moment. Still working out quite well for Levi Wilbur as he sets fastest lap of the race and still holds on to the race lead for the time being. 3.5 minutes plus 2 laps to go for them as they make the run. But here comes Maxwell, shows the nose to the inside. Try to see if he can play a little mind games, thinking, yep, I'm going to try to make this pass, but actually I'm just going to see if you make a mistake and then I pass you. So far, not working. Wilbur just being hyper-focused and making sure he doesn't make a mistake, nor does he worry about what's going on behind him as they head down the back straightaway towards the bus stop chicane once again, and hits his marks through as they climb the banking of Daytona and heading down into the hairpin. So far, just smooth and consistency is the key for victory for Levi Wilbur.
Indeed, 2 minutes 45 seconds left to go here, and that smooth and consistent run is great from these top 3 as they go through, and it's showing the pace where it is at the moment as they go along. Fastest kart between the 3 last time was Braden Heber there in third. Braden Heber's now closed up the door a little bit here, is looking to make a move down side by side. Wilbur, Maxwell, will they get the pass done? Well, outside turns to inside for Maxwell. Maxwell does get past Wilbur here, but will it be a switch back in through? And what does Heber want to do? Heber goes for a pass as well, losing 2 positions in the matter of 1 corner is Wilbur dropping into third here. Heber now into second, has bid the time, done it well, and now unfortunately the move has forced itself into an appearance. It's not going to be when I think Heber wanted to make the move, but when the opportunity shows itself, you can't turn it down. Down the infield we go here. Heber up into the second place. Can Heber go for the lead at the moment? No, Maxwell will hold on to the lead coming across the line, but Heber will probably be setting this up sooner rather than later.
He is going to do everything he can to set himself up because Heber is now on the charge. Maxwell finds his way through and continues to hold on for the race lead as Heber will continue to see if he can find his way up towards the front of the field with 1.5 minutes to go plus 2 laps. I say Heber does have a shot of it, but Maxwell stretches it out a little bit. He's got some breathing room, but here comes that draft and slingshot possibly engaged as they come out of the banking of Daytona down towards the hairpin. Nope, Heber just going to follow suit, not push the envelope.
Yeah, and Heber, I think, knowing that there is some time left on the clock there, opting to use the time wisely, which I wholeheartedly understand here coming through, and they'll cross the line here. We might get a bonus lap out of this. 60 seconds left to go as they cross the line, and a lap takes 49 seconds. Down the inside goes Heber. Heber's going to make the move now. Down the inside through turn 2, gets the pass done cleanly, and Heber, now your race leader here as he goes through, around, out through the triple apex, down through the left-hander, now through the back stretch. He's going to go. He's in the lead now, and I don't know if he's maybe made that move a lap or two too soon, because now he's going to be the one under pressure that has to defend and is going to have Maxwell right for company behind. Wilbur's now closed up. Maxwell goes up the inside for a pass, and Heber's going to lose 2 spots in the matter of 1 corner through the hairpin.
Amazing drive right here for Wilbur as he was able to move up. Maxwell, though, has enough time, though, but it's going to be now a 3-lap dash. We get that extra bonus lap here. 3 laps to go for your race leader as they head down into turn number 2. Can Wilbur capitalize and try to find the opening to get around the driver of Adam Maxwell for the race lead as they come up through the triple apex? Here he comes with a big head of steam coming through the corner, and so far not good enough, but he's got that back straightaway to his advantage. He's shown incredible pace down this back half of the course as they head to the bus stop chicane. So far not going to work. Up the banking of Daytona they will go. Could he set it up into the hairpin? He'll show the nose down to the inside, side by side, big send crossover though as Maxwell capitalizes and crosses him back up. It's going to be a drag race through the chicane and see who sets themselves up better through this section, but it will be Levi Wilbur who takes over the race lead for the time being. Popsicle sticks in the air, 2 laps to go.
And as we see Wilbur Heber here not sorting things out either. Heber wants a move. Wilbur, Maxwell through, contact coming through. Heber's going to open up the door. Heber's going to go from 3rd to 1st here. If he can make it stick around the outside. Through the outside, he's going to go there. Going through with Wilbur. Maxwell coming through the inside. Heber in that bright highlighted cart will go up into 2nd place. And now he's going to actually drop back down. He's going side by side here coming through, and he backs out of it through the bus stop. Very wise to not go side by side through the bus stop there as bad as he probably wanted to. And Heber, again, for a moment, thought he had the lead and then goes back to 3rd in the matter of a lap. And I tell you what, if I had a nickel for every time Heber went 1st to 3rd in a lap, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice here. Coming around the white flag with a little bit of breathing room for Maxwell. Wilbur will come through in 2nd. Heber's in 3rd. Heber wants a move. Let's see what happens here. Final lap through turn 1.
Here they come through. Could we have a new race winner this season besides Wilbur and Heber? And so far, Maxwell's doing what he needs to do to hold off the hard charger of your 2 championship leaders as they come down onto the back straightaway. Maxwell has about a 2-kart advantage. Heber and Wilbur working together to try to close the gap as they come through the bus stop and climb the banking of Daytona for the final time. Here comes a big head of steam by Levi Wilbur. He'll go around the outside. Can he make it stick? No. He'll go too wide into the grass and allow Heber to take over the 2nd position. It's now a 2-horse race as they snake their way through the S's. Heber trying to find the opening he needs to the inside. Maxwell goes onto the fence, out of the final corner. Adam Maxwell, welcome to Victory Lane here at Whiteland, presented by K1 at the Indy Karting Challenge for your first win of the season. It's going to be Braden Heber 2nd, Levi Wilbur 3rd on the podium, Colton Kelly, Gage Justiano, Colin Hardin, Andrew Petrie, Zachary Allen, Andrew Goldman, and Gavin Holtum round out your top 10. Ethan Williams and Gavin Holtum did not finish, so a tough break for them, as well as we'll hopefully see them tomorrow in action for the Sunday afternoon session. Well then, Bradley, a very exciting morning session for sure, as we will step aside here momentarily. Give us your final thoughts for the morning session.
That morning session was awesome. 206 seniors really showed up and showed out. They had a great time going through. 206 lights were awesome to watch through. Cadets and Sportsmen, as always, doing great. K Junior was competitive, and I'm just saying, if you're racing in the afternoon, I hope you show up and put on the same energy, because it's been a great morning so far.
Absolutely. Well, for our entire production and camera crew out there at the K1 circuit in Whiteland, and for my co-host here today, Bradley Dalton, I'm Taylor Burris. We will see you later on this afternoon. A little bit before 1 o'clock, we should be getting set to go racing for action here today for qualifying for the afternoon session, and then we will have heat race and finals. So make sure to tune in on Kart Chaser for all the action here today.